McDonald's. They know how to do a homecoming Saturday in Durham, North Carolina. The campus of NC Central, O'Kelly Riddick Stadium, the site for Morgan State versus NC Central on this homecoming afternoon. Two schools with history dating back to 1930. 46th all-time matchup getting set to take place today on a campus with history that dates back to 1909. This is going to be a fun matchup here. You see the Eagles have won 6 straight. Morgan State trying to knock them off stride today. NC Central's won 4 straight overall this season. One of the hottest teams in the FCS right now, and should be a buzzing atmosphere today. Jason Ross Jr., Tyoka Jackson with you. Pumped up for this one. Really have a matchup between two teams whose strengths absolutely collide with one another. Morgan State is the #1 defense in the MEAC, whereas NC Central, #1 scoring offense in the MEAC. Tyoka, what gives today in this one?
First of all, it's black college football, so I'm super excited about that. But as you talked about, the headline is 1 versus 1. That's going to be huge. Tyoka tip for you, though. I think other phases are going to have a huge impact in this game as well, namely the kicking game. Let's watch the kicking game and see if it rears its ugly head today.
I like a Tyoka tip, a little alliteration there for us right. Early from this guy. All right, let's talk defense first. Your name of the game, Elijah Williams, the defensive end. This guy's got 6 sacks on the season.
Yeah, he'll move up and down the line of scrimmage. He does it all. Central OC told us this is a Sunday guy. What's that mean? He'll probably be playing for money very soon. And he is licking his chops because this is a relatively young Central offensive line. He's going to have some huge one-on-one matchups today.
He's trying to stop Jamari Taylor, the elite running back for NC Central. What does this guy do well?
Well, listen, he is the head of the snake for this running game. He has almost 100 more rushing attempts than anyone else on this football team. But it's his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield that makes him the ultimate weapon. I expected him to have a tremendous all-purpose game today and be one of the best players on the field.
Well, NC Central won the toss. They will defer. See J.J. Davis, an elite running back from Morgan State, back to return, Cincinnati, Ohio native. And we're wondering who would be the kicker today for NC Central. Juan Velarde dealing with some back issues. Caleb Robinson, the freshman from Florida, will step in to boot this one away in front of a great crowd on hand here in Durham. NC Central's won 4 in a row. They're coming off the bye week. They've been putting up big points of late, 5-2 on the season. On top of the HBCU coaches poll entering today, Morgan State looking for a big momentum victory in their season. And this one will sail back for a touchback to begin this matchup. Morgan State will have the first offensive possession. Deuce Taylor, the QB, took over for Taj Smith, who went down with the injury. Deuce Smith has played 3 full games now since Taj's injury. His receiving crew has been good and consistent this year. The running game, we've talked about it. What do you need out of this offense today?
Well, they have to be able to run the football. That's the start of it, and as you see, Taj Smith is coming out on this game, so I think that changes a little bit. This guy is a little bit more of a passing at the quarterback position. Deuce Taylor could run the football very well. He is an emerging passer. I think it's the opposite for Taj Smith, so look at them to get this ball a little bit more downfield than we've seen on film this week.
No, we weren't sure who would be the decision. They go with Smith, who throws in the first play of the game, incomplete. Had intentions for Davis there out of the backfield, so now formula changes a bit. Again, Deuce Taylor had been the guy, but they bring Taj Smith back today after both guys were in practice this week sharing reps. But you have experience here with Smith, the Virginia native.
And I like how they started. Even though it was incomplete, I like how Apollo Wright, the offensive coordinator, gave him an easy throw to get Smith into this game quickly. Hasn't played in a couple weeks, right? You want to get him settled down as quickly as possible. The run game will help to get this offense settled down as well.
Pressure comes, got it away quickly in a quick collision. Incomplete, looking for Marquez Phillips.
Yeah, Quantez Mansfield read it all the way. Pick number 0, 6'2", 295 pounds. And he sees the leaking out of the offensive lineman. And as a defensive lineman, you're taught if the linemen leave you, you follow them. Because they're not going and leaving their quarterback naked. The ball's going to follow the offensive line. Great job of playing with your eyes. You say that about a running back, you can do that as a defensive lineman as well.
Brings up 3rd down. Morgan State's been good offensively on 3rd down, but 3rd and long is a position you don't want to be in against this NC Central defense. There's the reason right there. Coming up, Tom Thomas Johnson had a start in game 1 of the season, and he's back in the lineup this week.
What a beautiful move. I mean, that's just basically an Olay. Not the greatest effort I've ever seen out of Kerry Finley, but what a beautiful move to come around that corner. All I want to see from you next time, though, Thomas Johnson, go after that football a little bit harder. You can get a sack calls fumble.
Darrell Taylor drifting back on a good punt. Will take it from his own 28 and get dragged down about right there. So, again, both coaches thought the kicking game would play a role. Messinger with a big boot. They love their punter.
Yeah, that's a huge play in the kicking game because it flipped the field position. And then even the opening kickoff, we saw North Carolina A&T earlier this year take a kickoff, the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. So starting off there for the Eagles, great kick coverage. And then for the Bears, excellent punt to flip the field position. So once again, I think the kicking game is going to play a huge part because it's going to set these offense up or pin them back one way or the other.
Special teams, was kind of a disaster last week for Morgan State against Merrimack. Lost that game 32-24, so already trying to flip that script around today. Walker Harris, the QB for NC Central, his first throw of the game, incomplete. Looking for Jamari Taylor, who you talked about in the open.
So that ball's thrown a little bit behind him, Jason. You'd like to see an early throw like that to Taylor, a little bit more on target. Had to contort his body, made it a much tougher catch. But that's the type of guy, if you get him the ball in space, he's going to make people miss, and he runs a lot tougher than his size says. He's 200 pounds, but, man, I've seen him break a lot of tackles this week on film.
It was a 68-0 win for NC Central over Virginia Lynchburg prior to the bye week. 4 straight wins overall. Flip it out on the screen here. This Morgan State defense has tackled well all season long, finishing off the play. Out on the edge that time was Elijah Williams, another player he highlighted in the open that tested for Morgan State.
So Morgan State is really good on third down, Jason. They're only allowing 37%, just over 37%. So this is a phase right here. You've got yourself now at 3rd and 8-ish, right? Can you get off the field early now? You got your offense at the 30-yard line. Can you get off the field early and force another punt and get this ball back? Third down, obviously, in every game is going to be huge.
If you're Morgan State, getting a stop like this early against an offense that has been clicking like NC Central would be big. They bring Williams on the pressure, and that pass is incomplete. Jason Prevard had the coverage over on the sideline.
Well, that length. I mean, this guy's 6'3". And I want you to watch how he uses every inch of that. Watch the reach out to knock this ball away. That's 6'3" playing corner. Not many guys that long at the corner position. So he's tall, but he's got long arms, and they love that type of size. Not only in college, they love it in the NFL too. And if he keeps making plays like that, he'll have a shot at the next level.
And again, 6'4" Joaquin Davis there.
Yeah, length against length.
Malik Leatherbury back to return this punt. Robinson again handling the kickoff, kicker, and punting duties. And a roll deep down into the end zone. 70 yards there. The punter's bringing it early.
Imagine if he had kicked that ball inside the 5, though, Jason. So it's obviously a 70-yard boot, but it's only going to be about a 45-yard net, which is pretty good, though.
We'll be right back.
The East Bay Times endorsed Ryan Richardson for city attorney. He'll bring the legal expertise.
And coming off the 32-24 loss to Merrimack, trailed big in the first half of that one, came back, but just fell short. He described the narrative of their season to this point as a bit of a roller coaster ride, 3-4 on the year. But if they can even things out, still a lot of football to be played. The defense off to a good start. Offensively, weren't sure if the QB would be Deuce Taylor or Taj Smith. They're rolling with Smith, who got injured earlier in the season. They bring Andre Crawley, one of their top receivers, in motion, but a deception play. But the NC Central defense ready for it on the interior. Gain of 2, Jaden Taylor, Durham native, with the tackle.
Well, they're putting a little bit on this offensive line. They've got a young offensive line, young group, only one senior in the entire group. They're going to see if they can establish a running game. That's going to be so helpful. Again, you're talking about Todd Smith, who hasn't had action in a couple weeks. There's nothing better for an offensive line, or excuse me, a quarterback to lean on his offensive line to give him some confidence and get him feeling really comfortable in that pocket.
Evan Rawlick had to come out for a play. He tackled, so Christopher Boyd will replace him. Rawlick's helmet came off. 4 on the plate clock here, and flags come out. NC Central pointing towards the Morgan State direction.
That's what the center move, Jason.
You're right.
Yeah, I think Daniel Casillas, I think he simulated the snap, honestly. But again, we talked about that offensive line being young and inexperienced. This is their first conference game. This is a huge game for them. Can they gel right before our eyes against a defense that's terrific up front, especially? Right? I mean, they got some guys in that front line who can play. So they're on the hot seat right away.
An O-line, too, that was kind of bit by the injury bug early, which contributes to that youth. J.J. Davis trying to run behind it. Max Urin on the tackle.
So that sets up now 3rd and long for this offense. And so, that penalty early on, that's the type of drive killer that you can't have, especially when you're trying to win on the road, right? Big games on the road. First rule of winning, can't beat yourself. Can you now cut down these penalties? So this is where you are, 3rd and long. They're going to be baptizing Todd Smith early on. Be interesting to see if they bring some pressure, see if he's ready to play.
Wonder how long it'll take him to get his legs back under him, too. First start in a few weeks. Pressure coming off the edge. He's able to elude it, just get this ball away and avoid any further trouble. But they will turn it over and punt this away. Josh Pullen had the pressure.
Now just think of this, Jason. This is a 3-man rush, but it looks like a 6-man rush, right? When you got guys beating double teams, that's very disheartening, not only for your quarterback, Todd Smith, but that's going to influence what Apollo Wright feels comfortable calling as an offensive coordinator. Right now, defensively, the defensive line of North Carolina Central is dominating the offensive line.
Line of scrimmage battle on both sides. Messinger, they came after him. A little contact, no flag. Taylor will call smartly for the fair catch at his own 45. Boot of 36 yards that time. A lot of hang time, but not too far. That'll bring the Eagles offense back out to the field.
We talked about that 70-yard punt, right? 45-yard net, which is really good. Special teams.
Let's see if NC Central can capitalize on the field position when we come back.
McDonald's.
Back in Durham on the campus of NC Central. Historic campus. Homecoming today. An HBCU homecoming, always one of the most fun experiences you can find around the country. They know how to do it here. You spent $120 on lemonade. You got some barbecue.
You wasn't supposed to mention that on there.
Yeah, we had an agreement early on to mention it.
That's all right. We'll get this even up.
Dive into the layers of it.
There's a story behind the
120.
It's
I said it'll be layers.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to that, folks.
Just know it's a party here in Durham. But now this offense, again, that's been red hot lately. 68 points, 45 points, 37 and 66 in their last 4 games. Steps back out onto the field. Number 21 ranked team in the FCS rankings. Harris, this is a part of what he can do. Keeps it. There's a Morgan State player down on the field. Training staff immediately comes out. Can't quite catch the number, jersey number there. The helmet came off very quickly on that tackle.
Just want to see him move everything, Jason. He's moving his hands. See both training staffs from both squads out on the field, which we love to see. See him move his legs. Just, oh boy.
We're going to step aside and await an update here in Durham.
On a reflective Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Here with some help from the training staff.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest play of the game for me, no matter what happens. Just seeing him walk off the field under his own power, moving his extremities. We're all good.
Yep.
He's all good. We're all good. And we can play some football again.
We'll keep an eye on Josh's status. Gregory Young comes in for him. Now it's 2nd and 7 for the NC Central offense.
It's very important they're efficient, at least on 2nd down, Jason. You don't want to be in 3rd and long against this defense.
Arturo Maddox, the linebacker who is a captain. Coaching staff brought him up immediately in our meetings, made the tackle there. And gain of a minimal yardage, maybe 1, if that.
Well, it's going to be 3rd and manageable, but man, I like the way Maddox attacked that line of scrimmage. They say he's an improved pass defender at the linebacker position, but man, he showed me something with his aggressiveness right there, wrapping up that ball carrier, and no extra yards.
And brings up 3rd and 3 now. So again, Morgan State's defense looking to get off the field in a spot where they would love to. They bring the pressure again, and it gets there again. Elijah Williams came into today with 6 sacks on the season. Thought he was bound to add to his totals in just the first couple of possessions. That's what he's doing today.
Well, give him 7 now, and this is a one-on-one against Terran Williams, and that's a beautiful spin move. Now watch the big fella move. Change the direction now, and once he gets his hands on you, it's over, right? That's why he's an NFL prospect, because he has the ability to slide out to the 5 technique and rush, and in NFL, he'll be a 3 technique and a nose guard, and he'll wreak havoc on every level, folks.
Juan Velarde's back locked up on him earlier this week. We're wondering if he'd be punting today. He is. And a high boot. It is a punt that's going to drift into the end zone. With Velarde and Robinson sharing the kicking duties, that one goes 64 yards, a little longer than Velarde wanted. But ultimately, that Morgan State defense, they're showing up early. Elijah Williams, you need big players to show up, especially on the road in big games. He's doing that right now.
As advertised. You saw it, just the athleticism, and they always talk about skill position guys being athletes. That's an athlete, a big athlete playing. Speaking of athlete, now it's Trey Oliver playing, coaching at his alma mater.
He's a DB and a punter.
A punter.
A DB and a punter. How many coaches around college football can say that for their alma mater now on the sideline, in a job that he loves? Wanted his team to keep improving during the bye week, keep practicing at a championship level. That's their goal. Morgan State has some different ideas. Miles Myrie, the carry. You've seen J.J. Davis. Talk about some kicking abilities.
There it is.
See there? A little throwback. The big shoulder pads on the punter, too.
Yeah, right, how about that, right? But I want to see if Trey can get that leg up that high. I guarantee you that he doesn't have the flexibility in the hamstrings to get up that high anymore.
As defense shows up against the ground game, you tried to kick your leg up that high in the booth before the game because you wanted to show the people in the truck your shoe game, which is matching with your tie. It was a mistake because you couldn't get it up that high either.
Yeah, I'm broadcasting hurt right now. Not that anybody cares, but I'm a little sore in that left leg. I'm just telling you right now. Look, 3rd and short, right? This is where you need to be. If you're the Bears offense, you do not want 3rd and long against this defense and this pass rush. Now you can do everything. I'm looking for a quarterback run situation here.
And somewhat of a checkmate so far on 3rd down, and it remains that way. Ja'Kai Brevard, Quantez Mansfield gets in there. 23 tackles entering today. Gets another here.
Well, they're bringing people. And so right now, right off the bat, Jackie Brevard shoots through a gap and forces the runner to have to stop and start. And against this defense, the way they fly around, you get a stop and start from your running back, it's going to be a no play. Very aggressive call there.
Taylor lets this one take a couple of hops and roll down inside of the 30.
Punters do.
Yeah, right. And a game where Coach Oliver told us, as that one goes for 46 yards, this might come down to the kicking game.
Yeah. Well,
so far, it's a special teams match.
First of all, don't try to steal my Tioka's tip. He said that he's dominating the kicking game. He didn't say it was going to come down. I said that. Don't you steal my tip now.
You know I love the name Tioka tip. I think it deserves a graphic. I think it deserves everything that you wanted to deserve.
But listen, we talked about strength against strength. Number one offense against the number one defense in the conference. It's the others that generally have to show up and tip the game in the team's favor, and usually the others comes down to kicking. Who's going to make a big play or a big mistake?
Haven't heard much yet from Jamari Taylor. These defenses have really shown up. Elijah Williams, 0 and white. Keep an eye on him. He's been flying off the edge. They bring more pressure. And in the passing game, they go to Taylor, able to keep his feet in bounds. You said it. He's a really good pass catcher. Former walk-on, makes a good grab. Maddox finished up the tackle.
And you're asking a lot from Chase Picard to try to handle a back like this in one-on-one. This is a zone blitz where you're asking defensive line to drop in coverage. He's got no chance. He's a really good-looking freshman, 6'3", 240, talking about Chance Picard. But you got no chance against Jamari Taylor in the open field.
Taylor's got 9 touchdowns on the season. He told us maybe I could have a little more, too, depending on how things have shaken out. But here he is ripping through tackles. You see the patience and the ability to turn kind of that intermediate play into more. Stoops the tackle.
So look, we all got 2 eyes. We all got vision. But do we have the quickness and athleticism to take advantages of the things we see in front of us? Well, number 4 does. He can read the blocks, but then he has the quickness to put a foot in the ground and change direction in a heartbeat and make defenders miss in the hole to get extra yards.
Trell Collier graduated last season, so Taylor stepped into that go-to running back role for the first time and kind of patiently waited for the Charlotte, North Carolina native. Harris will go to the air. Throw comes out well. Short pressure there again.
It's a good thing that ball was off target because Jason Pavard was all over it. He was all over that comeback route, and if that ball had been thrown a little higher, I think number 1 would have caught that going the other way. It's a very important situation here, I think, for Central because they got their first down. They're trying to string together a drive, right, against a defense this great. You can't be just a little bit off. They're too good. You have to be on every detail on the screws in a comeback route like that. You want to hit on it because that sets up 2nd and short, which is set up 3rd and short.
Now back to Taylor, a nice initial burst. And gets brought down by Carl Vansky Decius and Arturo Maddox.
This pass rush for both of these defenses really makes it imperative to have to run the ball in a game like this. You can't just drop back and throw the football against these defenses. They're both too good up front, right? So you have to establish something up front to give these guys something else to think about rather than just teeing off on your quarterback.
You see the athleticism of these defenses early on.
Yeah.
These guys are flying around. 3rd and 6 now.
Big guys who can move.
Both teams yet to convert on 3rd down. The lefty Harris delivers, broken up by Arturo Maddox. You said it, he has improved in the pass coverage game, something he really wanted to work on, and he's able to break that up there.
Yeah, so this is zone coverage, and when it's zone coverage, you can see the ball being thrown. Look at him break on that ball, and what I like, he didn't wrap the arm such that to get a flag, the off arm, he came forward with the place art arm, knocked the ball away, didn't wrap the back arm, no flag, getting off the field on 3rd down.
Velarde will now punt it away. His 3rd time out there in this opening quarter. Leatherbury will return it, looking for an alley on the far side. Couldn't quite keep his footing, but some energy along the Morgan State sideline. Neither team able to really piece together much on their opening drives to this point. You see the drive chart so far resulting in 3 punts. Vice versa, 3 punts so far for NC Central as well.
I really think adding the quarterback to the run game, I think is going to be something that's there for this offense. They haven't been able to just straight up line up and run it. We saw how athletic this defensive line is, this entire front. They're going to be aggressive and bring people, so it's going to be tough to drop back pass. I think you need to start thinking about adding the quarterback to this run game, both as design runs, but then also in read option situations.
Can Morgan State be the first team to get the offense clicking? The NC Central defensive line says absolutely not.
Now, see, in that situation, and I'm not sure if it's a called read option. If that is a called read option, you got to have that quarterback keep that football. He should keep it, Todd Smith, and come out the other side. There's nobody there for him. And if that was not a design read option, they need to start calling it. Paulo Wright needs to look at what's happening and saying, okay, I've got an opportunity to add an extra guy to the run game, and it appears the defense won't be ready for it.
Morgan State staff told us the defense versus NC Central, they want to keep everything in front of you. They'll give you the short stuff. Who can get that first explosive play, though, against one of these elite defenses in the MEAC? Line was ready once again. What do you do differently on third down now?
Well, I think you might have to look at max protect because the one-on-ones are being lost up front by your offensive line. So you might want to keep a tight end, a back, at least chip, to give your quarterback a chance to look downfield and survey it without being under pressure. That hasn't really happened for Smith. He hasn't had a clean pocket for any length of time.
And Taj Smith getting the start today. Deuce Taylor started the last few games. Smith began the season as the starter, then was injured. It was a QB competition in the offseason. But Smith back in the seat, having trouble on third down, though, today. Pressure was felt once again, and punting unit comes out. Again, and punting unit comes out for the fourth time.
And he was hit once again. So you see, he understands that the clock has to be fast, the ball has to come out quick. Now you want to obviously to throw a more accurate ball, but he's feeling this pressure. This is where, again, I think keep it back in. Maybe a chip on these defensive ends because they're getting home with these one-on-ones. It's going to have to be an adjustment made if they want to throw the football downfield.
Darrell Taylor back to return. Busy day for Shane Messinger, the punter for Morgan State. Busy day for Juan Velarde as well, punter for NC Central. That ball is fair caught. NC Central's had some good field position, too, in these drives that have all resulted in punts to this point.
Yeah, but when you can't block the front on either side of the ball, you can't block the defensive front, you're going to struggle, and it doesn't really matter what you call as an offensive coordinator. You've got to find a way to block the front. Now, Central did have some ability to run the football in the last drive. We'll see if they can continue to establish that, and then off of that.
We thought two relatively young offensive lines might play a role in this game. So far, the defensive fronts have been winning the battle. Harris, who's thrown for over 1,100 yards in the season, 14 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions. Can he and this offense find a way to get rolling? They have been prior to the bye week. They'll give it to Taylor, trying to drive the pile forward. Multiple white shirts get there quickly. Brian Stukes leading the way.
This guy's an inside-outside back. He is not afraid to put his shoulder into people, and you saw it took multiple Bear defenders to get him down, and that's fine. If your defense, you like swarming to the football. That's why they cause so many turnovers. Talking about Morgan State, and it looks like that's probably the type of game we're looking at. The defense on both sides are going to have to create some sort of opportunity for their offense.
Morgan State 1-3 on the road this season. Time to throw for the first time today for Harris, but the ball is incomplete, well out of the reach of his intended target, Chauncey Spikes, with DeCius in on the coverage.
To be pretty good coverage to me in the trail technique, a lot of contact, but when you're in position like that, Jason, it forces perfection from the throw. DeCius was where he needed to be, and obviously that was not a perfect throw to give his receiver an opportunity to catch that football.
Brings up a familiar down, third down. 4 punts so far in this opening quarter for both teams. When they get a first down here, there's a flag that comes out.
2 flags.
Incomplete. Markel Quick thought he was held. You're right, a couple of different flags out.
I think the receiver was held as well, Jason. I think Markel Quick was held going across that middle. I think no matter how you look at it, I think you're going to have first down for Central.
Morgan State is the least penalized team in the MEAC. through 7 games. It's something that Coach Wilson has been proud of. Officials getting together. Again, 2 flags out there. There's one in the backfield, one near where the pass was thrown.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Pass interference, defense. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, hands to the face. Defense number 69. It's 15 yards from the previous spot. Will be an automatic first down.
So again, Morgan State have been really disciplined all season long. A quick blemish there, and NC Central will take it on their first down of the game by way of the penalty. And they'll step into plus territory.
I think he meant 59, Jason. He said 69, but I think he means 59, freshman Deshaun Fields.
So they've done this year. It was a throw from Taylor, incomplete. Gregory Young on the coverage. Again, he stepped into the nickel spot and made a nice play. What looked like it had potential to be an explosive play.
Well, you're asking for the defense to be undisciplined in this situation. And I saw number 21, Young, start up and say, no, this is a pass. He saw the angle of the running back, Jamari Taylor, and that told him all he needed to know. And he went right to the receiver and did a great job of breaking it up. You're asking for the defense to be undisciplined with their eyes, to catch him slipping. This defense is hard to catch slipping, though.
You love a matchup with some good eye discipline. And speaking of discipline up front, there's your guy, Elijah Williams, again making the tackle. Another flag came in from behind. We'll see what that's for.
I think that was Williams getting dragged down, and that might have been Meltion Davis making a tackle, or vice versa. Maybe it's the other way around, but I think that's going to be a hold with the TFL.
Holding. Offense, number 62. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
And they get McKinney.
Let's see who he's dragging down. Yeah, so he dragged down Meltion Davis, and Elijah Williams cleaned everything up. But they're struggling to run this football inside. I think this ball has to go off tackle to have any kind of run room, because if you try to run the ball up inside against these big horses, Fields, Davis, and Elijah Williams, you can forget it.
Haven't seen their tall leading receiver Joaquin Davis get involved yet, but there hasn't been a ton of time to throw for Walker Harris either. He steps back here, throws it right on cue to Chauncey Spikes, who hops through some traffic. It's brought down to get some of that yardage back. Brian Stukes, another tackle. He's racking them up early on, and this one approaching the final 2 minutes of the opening quarter. And what has been a special teams fest to this point.
Yeah, that was a receiver screen all the way. You had the receivers at the bottom of the screen running routes to just block, and Chauncey Spikes is a big body receiver, 6'2", 205. I like him in space, tough tackle. Better get these guys blocked up if you want to throw the football.
3rd and 12. Going downfield. There's Davis. Got it. We were wondering when they would go to Joaquin. Using all of those long strides. 6'4", 195. Finds the first big play.
Well, I like the throw. Walker Harris threw a really good football under some pressure. There's going to be late pressure in his face. He stood in there and threw a ball. And again, you talked about the size of Joaquin, 6'4". So when you throw the football at number 88, you just get it up in the air. You feel confident whether he high points it or runs past the defense, he's going to have a shot. That time he did it with his speed, didn't have to jump to do it. Great execution by the Eagles.
NC Central practically perfect in the red zone this year. 29 trips. They've come away with points in all but one, and that was just because they have to take a knee against Norfolk State. They go to Taylor here on the edge, trying to push his way down to about the 1 yard line there. McCullough with the tackle, a touchdown saving tackle with a minute to go in this first quarter. Finally, that breakthrough play. What was the first down if you don't contribute the penalty?
That's right. And so now you're starting to see a little bit of momentum and some confidence now. It's going to be very important to get a touchdown here. In a game like this, the way this is developing, a defensive matchup, you don't want to have to kick a field goal here. Touchdowns will be huge in this situation.
Taylor has 9 of them on the season. Oregon State trying to shut the door to number 10. Ogoyo got there on the tackle. Brings up 3rd and goal. Tioka Joaquin Davis was matched up one-on-one. Bottom of the screen, Jason Brevard. Would you throw it up there?
Look, I mean, you got a guy who's 6'4" in the corner. It's not the most efficient play, Jason, in the red zone. But when you have a matchup like that, where a guy who's shown week in and week out that he can go up and get it. Now, again, Brevard is 6'3" himself, right? So it's going to be big against big. Running the football has been tough. I don't think it's a bad idea. Give him a shot, right? And I think it's probably 4 down territory, too.
That's been the one piece of offensive success so far. A homecoming afternoon at NC Central. The defenses came to play. A big matchup between two teams in a long history here in Durham. To see James Shepard, the founder and president. Start of the second quarter here. NC Central knocking on the door. Right on the goal line. 8th play of the drive. Best offensive drive of the early stages of this game. We talked about it. Would you throw it up here? Running the ball has been pretty tough.
Look, I like you talk about the fade. I like the fade stop in this situation. You know, the fade's not the most efficient play, but you go fade stop. It's one-on-one. You see him following your guy, Joaquin Davis.
They throw it to him, has to try to beat a couple of players in the perimeter, and he is met promptly out on the edge. A beautiful play made by DeCius.
But again, that's where you're testing the eye discipline again. What are your rules? You've got a guy following, but then you don't count for DeCius coming off of his primary responsibility and making a play. And that's where you just don't account for somebody being on the screws of what their rules are and then let the play say, scrap my rules, I'm going to get the football. Great job by DeCius.
Juan Velarde, again, who's dealt with some back issues this week, will take the 21-yard field goal attempt, try to break the ice on the score. And they were a yard away from punching it in, but gonna have to, and it is blocked. So again, special teams playing a role. Did Elijah Williams potentially get a piece of that? He did.
Are you kidding me? Watch the penetration. You only get 2 steps normally. Well, when you're number 0 and you're busting through a double team, you only get 3 to 4 steps, and you get that deep, you got to be very unlucky not to block it.
We remain scoreless. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Morgan State struggled immensely on special teams a week ago. They gave up a kick return for a touchdown in the opening kick return of the game, but now they come back a week later and they're doing this.
Yeah, it's not normal to burst through the line of scrimmage, but here's the deal. Elijah Williams is 270 listed. I guarantee he's close to 280. Well, he just came through Trevon Humphrey, who's 6'5", 255 pounds. So that's a big, huge mismatch inside.
So now they go back to the ground game. Jason Collins Jr. got some room on the edge after a couple of broken tackles, and they're able to pick up a first down. It's now feeding off momentum of keeping this game scoreless.
Well, again, you see a guy get outside. That's a great job of running with your eyes. Now watch number 10, Andre Crawley. Watch him get this block right here. That's the one that springs him around the corner and gets extra yards after the tackle.
Oregon State head coach Damon Wilson, one of the first things he brought up was special teams. And so far, the difference in the game, a blocked field goal from the difference maker, Elijah Williams, on the Morgan State defense. And now this offense trying to feed off the momentum.
I'm not saying I'm Nostradamus or anything by saying specialty. I'm not saying that, Jason. You keep accusing me of calling myself Nostradamus. I'm not calling myself Nostradamus. I'm just saying.
No, you called yourself the Tioka Tipper.
There you go.
There you go.
That's better than Nostradamus. I just saw it coming.
Is it better than Notre Dame?
Well, it's Nostradamus. You think of Notre Dame. That's what you do.
So now the keeper here with Smith going to the ground in a different way. Cole Jones, the tackle.
That's the quarterback run game I called for, though, because this defense is queuing in on the tailback run game, and then they're rushing the passer. When you add the extra guy, it gives them another thought process. Now I have to decide, is he going to keep this ball around the corner, or is he going to hand it off? That's just enough hesitation to maybe get a running game going, which will make this game a lot easier offensively for the Bears.
Oregon State team that's 3-4 on the year, up and down season, but a chance for a big win to get back on track. Still in the early stages of this matchup. Third down has been an issue for both teams. Quick throw. That might be what you have to do today. Really good formula to pick up the first down. Over on the edge, finding Andre Crawley. He's got over 300 yards receiving on the season, gain of 11 there.
Or you call it, I mean, that quick throw. Either you're going to block him up and give your quarterback chance, or you run routes to get the ball out of his hands quickly. But when it's 3rd and 5, Jason, you can run routes like that. That was the quarterback run that set up 3rd and manageable.
Big hit. Jakai Brevard, not the first time we've called his name today. Local guy from Durham. Loves to DJ away from football. He's a big music guy. That's right. He's singing to the tune of another big hit there.
Quarterback run game, again, I think is the key. They're all over every tailback who comes into the game. We'll see if we get a little bit more of number 0 using his legs.
Extra blocker in there to lead the way for Jason Collins Jr., the redshirt freshman from Washington, D.C. Jaden Taylor, the tackle. Now 3rd and manageable coming up here for Morgan State.
Collins showed me some quick feet there, Jason. They said he doesn't need a lot of space, and he showed me that there. 3rd and manageable again. This is where you want to be if you're the Bears offense.
Keep this going into Eagle territory. To keep it on the ground, wondering if that was a 4-down territory you brought up, and where they marked this is going to play a key role in the upcoming decision. They're not moving the chains. It is 4th and very short. Offense isn't hesitating to stay out there.
That was a good push by the offensive line in a game they haven't gotten a lot of push all day. So that set up this really 4th and extremely short. Question is here now, he's bringing big people. As you see down, the Bears offense is bringing in big people, extra offensive line. What do? Do you turn and hand it to your tailback? You got your quarterback in shotgun. Or is this going to be a direct snap, Jason? I think this might be a direct snap.
Yeah, they got 2 tight ends in there leading the way for Jason Collins Jr. And he gets enough. So got what you needed, bring in the big boys and keep the drive going.
Well, Paulo Wright showed me something there. He said, you know what? We've struggled as an offensive line at times this week, and we've had some really good games as an offensive line. He's saying that as this season goes on, we get in conference play, I expect this line to start to gel. And on that play, that's the type of play that will help an offensive line gel, because they really move for the first time this central defensive line backwards.
J.J. Davis, the running back now. They bring Crawley in motion, handoff to Davis. You mentioned Apollo Wright, new offensive coordinator, arrived in January. They wanted to wipe everything clean and really go under his wing. Their offense trying to, for the first time, continue momentum today into North Central Territory, into NC Central Territory. That time, Davis, not much room to roam, brings up another 3rd down. Taylor made the tackle.
Very interesting to see what offensive coordinator Paulo Wright draws up here. You've got a couple things in your mind. We've struggled blocking this front. We've also seen Central not be afraid to bring people in this situation. We've had some success running the football, but it's 3rd and long. Is this another 4-down situation where you take an unexpected run or short pass to set up a 4th and manageable situation? Very interesting decision making here. Chess match going on both sides.
And they've got 2 running backs in now, Myrie and Davis. Ball is out. It is loose and up for grabs. Someone's trying to pounce on it at the bottom of the pile. Taj Smith made his best effort for it. But NC Central thinks they have it. Emerging from the pile with the football is Juju Williams. So there were 2 running backs, tried to go with some deception, and Tioka just didn't work out.
Well, listen, you're going to have to hold on to the football if you want any chance to win a game like this. Black college football on ESPN, just getting started, folks. One scoring offense in the conference and top 10 in the country off the scoreboard. You block field goals. He's done a little bit of everything. We said that Matt Leone calls him a Sunday guy I call him a game wrecker because that's exactly what he's doing right before our eyes.
The blocked field goal that he has, the difference maker in this game right now. That was a 21-yard attempt for Velarde. Normally that's easy money for Juan Velarde, but Elijah Williams, the reason why this game's still scoreless, but his defense has to come back out. And offensively, NC Central trying to feed off momentum of the turnover. You're wondering, should they take another shot?
Yeah, why not get Joaquin Davis streaking down the sidelines? Now, looks like this is against zone defense. Looks like they're going to be set up with quarters. May not have the opportunity here. If they're playing man coverage, I'm going downfield. Nobody's moving with them. This is zone. Run the football.
They've got the extra tight end, Bracey, to be the lead blocker here for Jamari Taylor. Ryan Stukes to tackle. Looking at the summary so far to this point, you see that 60-play drive, but didn't result in points. That is very atypical for an NC Central team that had been pretty much perfect in the red zone up until that blocked field goal, by the way.
Yeah, so this is going to be about adjustments.
Now a throw to a tight window, incomplete. Looking for Bracey to that point. Again, though, this NC Central team, you can't reiterate enough. You had over 25 trips into the red zone, has scored on every one of them outside of taking a knee against Norfolk State. It's feeling a little different today. This Morgan State defense has come to play.
Well, not everybody you've played against has an Elijah Williams on the other side, right? So, I mean, they've obviously struggled to block him as well as Davis and Fields. So up front, it's been a challenge. Now, they've gotten something going with the run game. Can you now run play action off of it, though?
There it is, a dart across the middle, complete to Markel Quick. He thought he could have had some more there. Going to be a gain of 15.
There's a sideline warning on North Carolina Central. Sideline warning, North Carolina Central.
That's the turf monster.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's unfortunate because he had some room to run, but this is that RPO game that they love so much. And you can't run that RPO effectively until you start running the football. And so, you know, Taylor's starting to get heated up. He's starting to get some running room. That's when that RPO game becomes completely deadly because the defense really will struggle to keep up trying to stop the run and the pass, and it can happen on either play.
Markel Quick didn't play in the last game. They've got him back, and they won him again. There it is for a touchdown. That's what they were missing with him out of the lineup, and he is more than back. 49 yards.
Well, that's the big play that is so hard to find against this Morgan State defense. And I guarantee you the run game has allowed that to happen, and there's no safety. We're the safeties in this defense. You don't see this very often. Great job by Quick getting downfield. Not a lot of safety presence at all. Love the pass, though. The accuracy of the pass allowed Markel to catch it and run it in for a huge score.
They call Markel Quick Mr. Consistent. Now Juan Velarde coming on for the extra point. And it is up and good. So NC Central, by way of the big play, second time in this game they've had a pass of over 40 yards, but this one turns into 6.
Last name is Quick, but I love his hands. Gets his hands on the ball. He's not going to drop it. The best hands on the team. Big play. First touchdown of the ball game. And sent it into the stratosphere.
Made it more open.
I mean, my goodness. Now, and again, if you're a group of 5, there is a legitimate pathway to winning a national championship, and they've never had that before.
Absolutely. We were doing the American last week. You got Army and Navy in there who are most definitely thinking
so much fun
of getting to that playoff. Something that in recent years you wouldn't have been saying.
Nope.
Collins Jr. will get this out to the 24. And those are some unique styles, too. You get different teams, Army, Navy, potentially in there. Could throw some people off.
Yep.
And you never know what can happen.
Always a tough preparation week when you're playing the academies because they're doing things that no one else does. And that triple option in Army has changed. This is not the triple option of my youth. This is a spread gun triple option that's different. They've taken away the ability to block low. Cut blocks are not as legal as they used to be, and so Army has changed.
Yep.
And boy, they're getting it done in a huge way. You got a quarterback who's running and throwing for 100 yards a game, and that hasn't happened in the last 6 to 7 years in college football. They're doing it. A lot of fun to watch.
Speaking of running the ball, Collins Jr. takes it up the middle there. Of course, Navy lost today. Army still trying to keep those hopes alive. You got other teams around the country trying to get that spot amongst the group of 5 teams. And now 2nd and short coming up here from Morgan State.
This Bears backfield is a running back by committee deal. It's unlike what's going on the other side with Jamari Taylor. You got one guy who's the lead guy. You got Myreed, Collins Jr., Davis. They all have at least 3 touchdowns. They all get their carries, keep them fresh, and try to wear out a defense.
Wanted Leatherbury that time out on the edge. Going to bring up 3rd and 3. Mentally here, with how defensive this game is, Morgan State, even though you're only down 7, are you feeling a rush to answer back?
Well, no, you can't. You obviously have a sense of urgency that you need to move the football. There's no question. You want to protect your defense. Don't put them back on the field, but you can't take unnecessary chances. But what you have to do is take advantage of every opportunity. There's a situation here, if your receiver keeps his feet, maybe he catches that, falls forward. Even if he doesn't break the tackle, instead of 3rd and 3.5, 4, you're now 3rd and 1 or 2. Makes this a little bit easier pickup.
Just 1 for 7 on 3rd down today. That ball was bobbled for a minute, then held on to by Collins Jr., who's looking to break tackles into plus territory. A big run, ripping one off. Vassell was the last one there. Last line of defense. And it's a gain of 28.
Well, this redshirt freshman starting to impress me. Don't like the almost lapse in ball security, but look at the toughness. He's only 5'9", 185 pounds, but he does not run like that. You've got to really chest him up and wrap your arms to get him down because those legs are strong, folks. He's having obviously a really good start to this day.
They feel he's taking some big strides, Collins Jr. And that's a big play in the theme of trying to answer back. Going back to the ground game, defense was ready. Jaden Taylor transferred from Mercer, missed the first 4 games. This year, he's been really good on their interior.
Is this young offensive line starting to gel? Are they starting to get some confidence? Early on, there was no running room. Starting to get leaky a little bit up front now. They're starting to find their confidence and move some of this defensive line. You got to give a lot of credit to Coach Wright, though. He's sticking with this running game, understanding that the drop-by pass every single play is not the way to get a win on the road today.
J.J. Davis, the back, big 2nd down and 9 play. In a spot of the field where they want to keep going, but the hit was there immediately. I mean, there's not much time to operate when Juju Williams is in your face.
Well, I just give a compliment to the offensive line, and then we have an avalanche. Wow. I mean, they're lucky Williams didn't take the handoff. I mean, look at that penetration. I mean, my goodness. And I'm glad everybody in white's getting up because he was a wrecking ball in that play. Talking about Williams, the Indiana State transfer, 6'3", 255 pounds, and extremely explosive.
Had been dealing with a hamstring injury earlier this season. Looks very healthy now. Brings up 3rd and 13. And out of field goal range right now are the Bears. So that was a monumental play potentially from Williams. With 4:06 to go, we get a timeout called. We will take a break here. Morgan State, big 3rd and 13 when we come back.
Any questions?
How did you become the
right now, though? So it should be under 5. And about 4:06, I believe, with 3rd and 13 coming up. Ball on the 44 after they were pushed back. So there is 4:06 on the stadium clock left in the quarter. And 3rd and 13 here.
Josh Smith has to be extremely careful with this football. Will they give him time to read this thing out? The 3-man rush has been effective all day.
It's time to step up. Good coverage downfield, though. A late throwaway and incomplete. The Eagles defense right on the brink of the Bears getting into that field goal range, threatening range. Now they're completely out of it, and the punting unit has to come out.
I just want you to understand, these are 5 blockers against 3.
That's ridiculous.
And then you have a spy coming in just in case the quarterback breaks through. That's Josh Pullen coming in and trying to pull down Todd Smith. But this has been an excellent game defensively for the Eagles, and you got to give Courtney Court a lot of credit because his design is working and his guys are playing extremely hard.
You said his guys. You gave him a shout out in our coach meetings because he coaches the D-line.
That's right.
Specifically, too.
I love when you got D linemen as D coordinators. So he's an ex-D lineman, coach D-line. And it's a toughness that mentality brings to play in those trenches. That toughness can permeate the entire defense. I love when I see those guys making all the calls.
Oh, NC Central trying to double up with plenty of time to do it. The 3 timeouts before heading into the locker room. Remember, NC Central deferred, so they're going to get the ball to begin the second half. So if you could potentially punch it in here, you could be looking at a pretty serious swing in the final 4 minutes, early stages, second half. This is how they've pounced on teams this year. And Morgan State's defense has been awesome today. Gonna have to find a way to step up again here. Big gaping hole for Taylor. Carter tripped him up. But another good run for the excellent running back. Gain of 14 that time.
Well, that's going to probably be the easiest run of his day. I mean, you look at that hole, you can drive a truck through it. And, you know, obviously, Jamari Taylor is good enough when you get him penetration and when you give them guys to make miss, but when you're going to open up a line like that, it just makes it too easy right there. Great job of the offensive line of the Eagles.
Told us he loves to watch Jahmyr Gibbs and Jonathan Taylor. Those are his 2 guys. Over the middle this time. Similar looking route to when they connected with Quick on the prior possession. This time they get it down the field. Second catch of the day for Joaquin Davis.
It's amazing when you can run the football, what it does for your passing game. And this is the zone coverage that's given everybody a lot of problems. But Walker Harris is feeling very confident because the run game has slowed down this rush.
Back-to-back plays with gains of 14 to open up this drive.
Put a lot on Walker Harris, number 3, the quarterback's shoulders to get them in the right football play.
Really feel like guys are gelling with one another. The continuity is flowing, and the scoreboard would show that prior to the bye week. The thing was keeping up that intensity level, getting your legs back underneath you. Big day, homecoming, midway through the season, 1-0 in MEAC play to this point is NC Central. Looking for win number 2 in conference action with their QB Walker Harris.
Coordinator Antone Sewell from Morgan State said they're a tough offense because he's shown them on film beating guys run heavy, and he's shown them beating guys throwing the football. So they can do both equally as well.
Harris swings it out, and putting his eyes up a little too early was Taylor.
Yeah, he just flat dropped that one. Xavier Shell felt like he was all over it.
We've hit that 2-minute mark, so we will step aside. NC Central up 7-0. Morgan State looking for a big stop. Okay, big on hitting the gym. Sometimes when you look up a little too early, it leads to some extra work on the field, and Jamari Taylor owning up to it.
Yeah, there's some consequences.
Owning up to it, though.
Yep, drop and give me 20. Or at least give me 10. We don't want to tire you out, Jamari. Yeah, give me 10.
He did it under his own volition, too, by the way.
That's exactly right. He knows. That was close grip, too. He's getting some tricep work in those push-ups.
We get to talk to him earlier this week. A great dude. Really loves the game of football. Great things doing off the field as well. Nice move here in the passing game. Chauncey spikes on the reception. Able to move the chains, gain of 13, creeping closer to the red zone, where they were perfect, practically perfect up until today, when they had to block the field goal blocked in the opening quarter.
There's rack yards, which is run after contact. Then there's yak yards, yards after catch. What a great move by Spikes at the top of that route, catching the football and making a move to get the first down.
The keeper here, nice hit out on the edge.
First time we've seen Walker Harris keep that ball on that read option. Just another look for the defense, though. But no shock there. Morgan State was ready for it. Can Morgan State now, they've given up a couple plays on this drive. Can they now stiffen up and keep this offense out of field goal range, let alone touchdown range?
Inside of the final minute now. of the half. Throw it to Taylor. It's out of bounds. Young pushed him out. 47 seconds to go. Get a timeout called here. And this NC Central team on top of the HBCU coaches poll entering today. Jackson State number 2, Tennessee State number 3. This is the home of the 2022 HBCU champs and MEAC champs that year. Really have built a preeminent program. Facing a tough challenge today, trying to carry some momentum into the locker room.
Interesting timeout there by Central. It's 3rd and 5, 50 seconds left in the ball game. You call timeout. I know what you're thinking. Get the ball back, try to see if we can score a touchdown in this situation. The other side of it, though, if you don't score, you're leaving some points for the other team. Now, defensively, they're playing so well. I guess he's thinking that not really worried about Morgan State scoring, but very interesting to keep that clock with 50 seconds left, 3rd and 5. Got to pick this up, though.
There you go. Decision-making time on 3rd and 5 for Harris. Quick throw. Goes to his go-to guy in Taylor. Does he have enough? Where they're marking it, he doesn't.
And he got out of bounds, so that stops the clock as well. His decision-making again. You called that 3rd down timeout. I think you kind of forced to go for it in this situation. I think because, again, if you try a field goal and miss it, you're setting up Morgan State with great field position and plenty of time. So I think here you really almost have no choice to try to pay off that timeout with going for it, and they're going to take another one to talk about it.
Got 46 seconds left in the second quarter.
Now, I'm not saying that the initial timeout on 3rd down was the wrong call by Trey Oliver. I'm just saying if you don't get the first down, I knew it was going to set up a set of dominoes that had a potential to go against you. So I think now you have to kind of go for it. A little unsure about the kicking situation when you got a kicker with a bad back. Not sure if you want to try field goal from this length. To be somewhere around 41, 42 yards.
They feel comfortable with it was Robinson who we talked with Coach about from 50, but Velarde has been in today, so you wonder who they would allow to take that field goal.
Yep.
Velarde's been a little banged up, but Harris comes back out on 4th and 1 here. A huge down for the Morgan State defense. And prior to that ball being snapped, we had whistles, and now Morgan State timeout.
Morgan State.
The chess match continues on the
30 seconds.
timeouts here on a big 4th and 1.
Well, I think both head coaches recognize the importance of this sequence, because obviously in a defensive battle, any more points from either side is going to really be at a premium. So you just don't want to put yourself in position when you're giving up something cheap, right? You want to make sure everybody knows exactly what they're doing, are on the same page. 4th and 2 situation, trying to get that ball back if you're Morgan State, and obviously if you're the Eagles, you get a first down here, you've got a chance, a really good chance of changing the scoreboard one way or the other.
Trey Oliver on the right side. There, Damon Wilson on the left.
Situational football, all the timeout plays, both sides. This is the chess match, coordinator to coordinator. Who's going to make the right call, and what defender or offensive player is going to make the big play in this situation? Big people on the field.
And Morgan State defense has been flying to the ball today. See if they can do it again here. They'll pitch it out. Taylor looking for the edge. He got there. Just a sliver of enough yardage to move the chains. Look at it again here. It's a nice block set up on the left side.
Yeah, we're very well blocked at the point of attack. And this is just a straight old school student body left. Big on big, body on body. Can I get the leverage to allow my back to turn a corner? And the answer is yes. And he gets out of bounds to boot to save the timeout.
10th play of the drive coming up. It didn't convert in the red zone earlier. Had the field goal blocked. They had scored on 29 trips. 28 out of 29, and technically coming into today. The one they didn't score on was a kneel down. But back at it, where they've been dangerous. You know who else has been dangerous? Elijah Williams. Yep. The ball came out, And was it fumbled? If it was, it is recovered by Morgan State. So Williams, once again, was able to get it free, and Judy is the one who scoops it up.
This is what Morgan State defense does. They cause fumble. They came in having 9 caused fumbles in 7 games, and that is just an excellent rush right there by Elijah Williams. Not going behind the quarterback, comes back at the level, and then understanding that I'm going to be greedy and get the ball out. The easiest player on the football field to make fumble is the quarterback because he's looking downfield. He's not thinking about his blind side. Great job of not just getting the sack, batting the ball out. Again, Morgan State defense doing what they do, causing turnovers in a very crucial part of this ball game.
Really can't say enough about Elijah Williams today, a guy who has emerged as a leader, loves Morgan State, loves the school. You see him cheering at volleyball matches, soccer games, whatever it might be. Just a huge Morgan State advocate, embodies this program, and he just came up with a huge play with now 34 seconds to go and 1 timeout for the Bears. If anything, even if you don't score here, you kept this a 1-possession game. Got to give all the credit to Elijah Williams there.
No question. Just remember, the Eagles get the ball to start the second half, right? We talked about that. So had they changed the scoreboard, even with just a 3-point field goal,
you could have been thinking maybe 3-possession game if they had scored and then scored again.
There you go. And so now he's done it multiple times. He's keeping scores off the board all by himself with his tremendous effort. That's a superstar in number 0, Superman, I should say, wearing number 0 in a white uniform.
And NC Central will receive the second half kick. A well-deserved breather for these teams, and Elijah Williams in particular. 7-0 at the half on homecoming day here in Durham.
Any questions?
How did you become the Capital One Bank guy?
You mind? I've always been passionate about no fees or minimums on checking accounts.
How do I get your job?
Hard work,
I
dedication.
meant the Capital One Bank guy.
It's like Mr. Jeter said, hard work and dedication.
What's been the highlight of your career? And that have to be
Bank guy. Helping people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Aren't you in the Hall of Fame?
And didn't you live in space?
What's in your wallet?
When you're strong like this and drive with confidence while everyone is cheering you on, you own the field. Honda, a lineup that's rugged, savvy, and versatile. Each member of the Honda team is breaking records. KBB.com's best overall brand, best value brand, and best overall EV hybrid brand. To own the field in a new Honda, search your local Honda dealer today.
Eddie, my creator, has found us. We have something he needs.
There's an army coming that cannot be beaten.
Let's finish.
McDonald's on the campus of NC Central. Beautiful late October fall afternoon. These two teams very close in style, similarities, strengths, and fittingly separated by just 7 points at the end of the first half of play. Jason Ross Jr. and Tioka Jackson here in Durham. Well, Tioka, a game that NC Central found themselves, they could have stretched out the lead at the end. Elijah Williams forces the fumble. Right back to that defensive struggle, kind of pull and tug right now.
Yeah, both teams defensively are playing out of this world, right? This is about adjustments offensively on both sides of this football. How do you create explosive plays? Because driving the football into the teeth of this defense, that's not going to happen today. So you got to find a way to manufacture big plays, and they are few and far between in the first half.
Well, let's take a look at some highlights. As you said, most of them defensive to this point. Start with NC Central. They did have the big shots downfield that led to the lone touchdown.
Yeah, they've shown if they can get Elijah Williams blocked, there's some money to be made downfield. This does not happen to this Bear defense very often. They had the opportunity. They took advantage of it. Good for them. The rest of this, though, is about defenses really playing big on both sides, but obviously number 0 has stood out. He has been Superman in a white uniform. I expect it to be exactly like this in the second half, doing specific things to keep the offense off the scoreboard with turnovers and blocked field goals.
He's the reason why. It's a one-possession game. Saw the blocked field goal, then that forced fumble there. When NC Central was creeping up on the red zone, his numbers today, he's up to 8 sacks on the season now.
Those are first half numbers, folks. I mean, you do this in a ball game, you are killing it. He's doing it in the first half. And look at these numbers. If you showed up for offense, you came to the wrong place. This is about defense. This is about special teams, and this is about adjustments.
We get a touchback, and now offense will come out for NC Central after they deferred to begin the game. Walker Harris starting to find the rhythm. Markel Quick really popped out in the receiving game, and one of a couple of guys they got back in the offense this week. 11 of 18 you see there in the opening half for 143 in the deep touchdown pass. Rare, though, this offense has been denied in the red zone today.
Came in averaging just under 40 points a game, right? So I'm really curious to see Matt Leone, how he has made some adjustments at halftime, how he's going to attack this Anton Sewell defense. Man, this is the chess match continues. Looking forward to see how this plays out.
Jamari Taylor's been the back for most of the game. They give it to him fittingly to begin the second half, but that's what it's looked like. Kind of a snapshot of this matchup, trying to go into the teeth of both defenses. Hasn't really worked out. Arturo Maddox on the tackle there. A Morgan State team that's coming off what was a frustrating loss against Merrimack. They got down early in that one, 17-0. Fought their way back. Had an opportunity at the end of the game. Ultimately lost it 32-24. Been a bit of a roller coaster ride, but the defense has been the consistent force throughout the course of a roller coaster ride. They're trying to steady, turn it into a steady ship in the second half of the season. There's Joaquin Davis on the reception. Number 88, their lengthy wideout, who's been a key part of this 4-game winning streak for NC Central. Able to get some good yardage there against the Cius.
Yeah, that's an excellent route. He runs a comeback where he's running downfield, stops, and comes back. As you see the defender, that's Deceased slip down. I mean, this is about quickness out of the break. You don't see a lot of guys with length being able to come out of the break the way you saw Joaquin Davis, coming out there. That was an excellent job.
46th meeting between the Bears and Eagles dating back to 1930. A lot of history in this homecoming matchup. Once again trying to find the push, but the D-line ready. Jordan Judy on the tackle there, Broward County, Florida native.
They pride themselves on how many guys they play, Jason. You're going to see up to 10 guys play in this front. They like to rotate them, keep them fresh, so they play hard. The one guy you don't see come out of the ball game is number 0.
Yeah,
Elijah Williams. That's right. So everybody else is pretty much rotating, and they're asking Elijah Williams to continue to be dominant every single play.
Well, Harris, a left-handed throw, dangerously off the hands of Davis. And Deceased thought he might have had an opportunity to pick there. So NC Central gets a little lucky to avoid a potential second turnover. Now there's a Morgan State player down on the field here.
Boy, that was a tough drop by Davis. He's having a terrific game again. This time against zone defense, he finds the void, ball right in his hands. Walker Harris throws it right where it needs to be, and this is when you tell him now, you owe us one now, young fella. You owe us one. That was an easy first down opportunity. We'll come back to you.
Typically very sure-handed. Came into the season with 4 touchdowns, had one in that most recent win over Virginia Lynchburg. That was a 68-0 win. Trying to make out the number of the player here down on the field for Morgan State. Early stages, third quarter. Head coach Damon Wilson out on the field. We saw Josh Graham go down in kind of a scary fashion early. Up, number 94 from Morgan State.
He walked off, though. It was good to see him walk off.
Yep.
Happy about that.
Now 3rd and 8 coming up. This was the down that neither team could crack the code on in the first half. Pressure comes. That ball incomplete. In and out of the hands of Kyle Morgan. They don't use the tight ends a ton in the passing game. But now the punting unit's going to come out.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. The operation was a success, but the patient died because the ball ended up on the ground. The offensive line did a great job of giving Walker Harris just enough time. He read it out, found the open man, just couldn't make the connection. That's unfortunate. That should have been a first down for the Eagles.
Robinson will punt, and Leatherbury back to return. And a fair catch at about the 15-yard line. So now, offensively for Morgan State, how do you get some points on the board in the second half?
Yeah, I think Apollo Wright's going to have to show the adjustments he's made. I think that, the quarterback run game should be an option. We talked about that early in the first half. They did it a few times, had some success with it. I think you got to show this defense that. And also, I wouldn't be, really surprised if they don't change the tempo. Try to go ahead and start up-tempo in this offense and make the defense show that they can adjust to an offense that's going faster. Maybe just get them out of rhythm defensively.
Again, Taj Smith got the start today. Weren't sure if it was going to be him or Deuce Taylor, who had started the last few. They go to the ground with Collins Jr. You're trying to establish for fans out there the run game first to get that passing game opened up, right? That's why they're going to it, even though it's had to be hard to be consistent right now.
And this is who they are. So, again, second half adjustments. I'd like to see maybe a reverse come off of this. Show me some misdirection. Right now, all the flow is going one way and the ball's going the same way. Can we show flow one way with the ball coming back the other end? Again, showing the defense another look. You've had a first half of getting to know who they are and how they're going to play you. Let's see the adjustments off of that.
Second and 8, back to the ground, does not work. Wow, nice play. Ja'Kai Brevard again, the local Durham native senior creeping up here.
6'1", 220 pounds, playing at home, and he's a downhill runner. Downhill backer coming out. I like guys that don't wait on your side of the line of scrimmage. When you see the hole, you hit it because you know the back's going to hit it too. Meet him right there in the hole. Nice job, TFL.
Third and long here, not the recipe for success in this game. The MEAC matchup, NC Central 1-0 in the MEAC to this point. Smith does have time to throw, but he'll opt to run and gets hit hard. Not enough for the first down. Should bring out the punting unit here. Max Uren finished off the tackle, the Winston-Salem native.
Well, first, you got to give a little credit to this offensive line of the Bears. They've struggled against this three-man rush. As you said, gave some time that time to Taj, but he had nobody to find. So, that was just a lockdown effort by the Central secondary, and he got as much as he could get out of that. Again, I think the quarterback run game can be something they can build off, though. They were able to get 7 yards out of that deal. I'd like to see them come back with it on first and second down.
Uren who made that tackle. They call him the quarterback of the defense. Watched a ton of film in the offseason. Messenger has a big leg. Taylor dropped that on the fair catch attempt, then pounced on it. Brief scare for NC Central fans, but they're going to get the ball back with good field position. Coming up.
For 15 years, the Home Depot.
McDonald's. A lot of flavor amongst an HBCU homecoming. What's your favorite part about being on campus during a homecoming?
The band and the step show. The step show was last night. Unfortunately, I missed it. I'm a little ticked off about that, but the step show is always a great time. And then the band, man, HBCU bands, one of the best entertainment options at any football game in any stadium in America. I loved watching it at halftime. I didn't go anywhere today. Best believe I was sitting right here. I usually go, maybe find myself
to get some of that food. You can smell the barbecue percolating off that smoke there from afar.
Smoked turkey legs were hot today. Pre-game, just telling you.
I know you're thinking of going to the North Carolina State Fair after the game too. Up the middle, a big gaping hole for Taylor. Right out of the gates, right into Morgan State territory.
Just keep giving it to them. All the great backs need carries. They get better and better as the game go on. But what's happening is you're getting better and better with this offensive line. And I like the job there that Luke Grayson did, coming across and kicking out a defensive tackle in a physical way to give his guy crack.
Gain of 14 on the last play. Gets another good chunk here. Might be another 14 this time.
Yeah.
Back-to-back big runs for Taylor.
And that's on Taylor right there. That ball was supposed to go to the left. He gets the football and immediately, with his vision, sees there's an open hole on the backside, and he does not waste time exploiting it. This guy's got really dynamic quickness.
5 years old when he started playing football. He said it just felt natural. Everything came to him easily. Over the middle, that is typically an easy grab for Davis, who has had a couple of uncharacteristic plays in this game. Such a key threat for them in this part of the field.
And now his teammates are saying yours too. This doesn't get any easier than that. This is the RPO game. Run pass option, great decision by Walker Harris. And this is the type of game where you can't miss opportunities. They don't come often enough, and unfortunately Davis has missed 2 of them in a row. He's getting an earful, best believe, from Trey Oliver.
They know Davis typically has a very high standard of what he brings to the field. We talked about him earlier, matched up against Brevard still at the bottom of your screen. Always a threat. Why not go back to Taylor? Biggest hole of the day for him to waltz through. Still fighting into the red zone and inside of the 10. A touchdown saving tackle from Gregory Young after a gain of 22.
Look at the acceleration, Jason. It does not take long to get to 100 miles an hour for number 4. I mean, just a few steps, he's at full speed. You can't teach that, right? Real quick. Man, he's fun to watch. Averaging almost 7 yards a carry against this defense. That's a career game you're in the middle of.
He's got 110 on the day. They'll pitch it out to him. Why not? Gets a block, spins off of it after Luke Bracey threw out his body in front. Xavier Shell brought him down.
I like the job by Jaden Carter. He had a big man blocking him on the corner. Did a good job of setting the edge and held it a little bit. Forced Taylor into a little bit of an indecision and allowed the cavalry to come defensively and rally up to that football. So give Jaden Carter a lot of credit of setting that edge, because that ball could have got around that corner in a hurry and scored.
Chris Mosley comes in at running back now, 5th-year senior. You wonder with Taylor out, do you take one of those shots to the end zone on a fade route I talked to you about earlier?
I think this might be the opportunity, and I'm a fan of also the fade stop, where you're faking the fade, you come with a back shoulder right against the sideline.
Oh, keep it. Harris tucks his nose underneath, gets inside the 5.
Yeah, quarterback keeper on that little read option. I like the job that he did pulling that ball out, because the defensive tackle's 2-on-1 on Mosley. Great job of pulling it out and getting as much as he could. Now setting up very, very short 3rd and 4.5. Looks like cannot get the first down though.
Now you've got the man with 9 touchdowns in the season, Jamari Taylor, back on the field. 3rd and goal.
Excuse me, Jason. Defense, I'm saying anybody but Taylor.
Roll it out to the back of the end zone. Incomplete. No flags, and Morgan State makes another good stand in the red zone. They wanted Chauncey Spikes. That's had some frustration on the side of the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't think they were on the same page, and that's a hold, by the way. I mean,
so I think might have gotten
absolutely
threw the hands up though, which helped out a little bit. But nonetheless, Morgan State again in the red zone, keeping this one close, but potentially a 2-possession game. If Robinson, who's coming in now to take this field goal attempt, can knock it through from 21.
First things first, you better get Elijah Williams blocking. He's trying to figure out where to line up.
And now it is a 2-possession game. Robinson banks it through. 7:36 to go in the 3rd.
Decorate.
36 to go in the 3rd quarter. Is that a win for the Morgan State defense there?
Well, it's a win in that you didn't give up a touchdown, but
you got to find a way to score.
Right. Is 10 points enough? I mean, is that enough to win this game? And first of all, the defense of Morgan State is doing an amazing job. Yeah, you're talking about an offense who came in averaging 39.4 a game. You've given up 10, right? And just over 2 quarters. So you're doing your job defensively. You need the offense now to hold up their end of the bargain. They've got to come to the party.
Jason Collins Jr. back to return this kick from Robinson, who seems to have taken over the kicking duties for NC Central. Weren't sure who would take him today. Juan Velarde had one blocked earlier on the field goal attempt, and he had been dealing with some back issues this week. So out comes Taj Smith. Speaking of injuries, he's dealt with some this year, but back this week, and this offense trying to crack the code of the NC Central defense right now. It's been tough to run against. It's been tough to throw against consistently. It's been tough to get a big play against.
again, I sound like a broken record, but I'm calling for a quarterback run game. Now, we know Deuce Taylor can run. I'm just wondering, are they a little concerned about running Taj coming, finally getting him healthy? Maybe they don't want to get him hurt. I wonder if this is an opportunity maybe for Deuce Taylor to come in and just be able to change the pace, maybe not to finish the game or whatever, but maybe just to give him a different look. But they've got to find another way to scheme up something running-wise so they can then get their play-action pass going.
They like to use the motions pre-snap, and they're trying to use it for a big play that does not work out. Again, the coverage tight. Isaiah Norris was back there. Really mature guy, Isaiah Norris.
Transfer from South Carolina.
Yeah, he's a dad himself and really physical. Brings a lot of leadership to this team.
He was real slick with a hold. I saw him pull the jersey right at the top of that route, but he did it in a way where he kept his hands down to impede the receiving. It was hard to see for the officials. Real smart, slick play by, like you said, just a really good veteran player.
Now Smith still searching for some answers here. They go to Davis in the run game. No answers there. Only one you find is that the defense for NC Central has been really good today up front, and now some words being exchanged around midfield, and there was a swipe thrown as well. Norris entangled with someone there. Wilkins and Norris got into it. Tyler Wilkins and Isaiah Norris. It got a little chippy prior to that last break. Wow. It's kind of hyping up the crowd a little bit.
Yeah, the crowd.
Juicing some energy in the NC Central sideline. I don't know if Morgan State wants to juice more energy into this NC Central team right now.
That's right. Let's take a look at the top right corner of your screen. It's a running play, right? So we got stalk blocking going on. There's a helmet flying off. I think you're fine so far. You're still fine. Now that the whistle has been blown, so any activity now can draw a flag either way. So the flag has already been thrown. Now watch Wilkins here. Now he didn't, to be fair, now he didn't punch his face or go after his face. He just wanted to knock his helmet off. But again, that's not very smart at that point when everybody's looking at you. All eyes on you. Any swinging of any hand is going to draw a flag. So before that, he might have been drawing a flag from the defender.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, Morgan State, number 17. He threw a punch, and he has been ejected.
Wow. So, it was a swipe of the helmet. I don't believe he intended to punch the guy. But whenever you throw anything like that, they're going to call it and define it as a punch. That was as silly as get, because it's not going to have any positive impact for your team. You're already down 10-0.
Hurting your team and pushing an offense back that is struggling right now.
Again, I don't think he's intending to punch this guy. I don't. I think he's trying to knock the helmet off.
There's the
but
swipe.
It looks like a punch to the official. I have no problem with the call. He's not trying to fight. So why even bother?
Yep. And nonetheless, it's going to make this third and extremely long, almost barring a big play with how things have gone. It feels like almost guaranteeing you put your team in a punting situation. Again, with field position not in your favor, too, just starting to mount the pressure on this Bears defense. And now the crowd getting juiced up by the NC Central sideline.
And it's getting the Eagle defense juiced up even more.
Third and 22. Smith rolling, directing traffic. Keeps it himself, but they needed a big play, even bigger than that.
Goes to a late hit on the sideline.
Pretty close. Got to be careful now.
Close, yeah.
The emotions can take over in a negative way.
This is where your coaching staff on both sides has to let guys know, listen, we got a lot of football left to be played. There's going to be a lot of legal hitting available to you. Don't do anything stupid to hurt your team.
Head coaches Damon Wilson for Morgan State, Trey Oliver for NC Central. Two coaches that have a ton of respect for one another. Messenger going to come out to punt. I mean, he has had a busy day. Got that one away. It's not very long, but there is a flag out. It took a minute to get it off, so now a couple of flags out. These will be big in the ensuing moments.
There's no question this is going to be some sort of roughing or running into the kicker. There's no doubt about that. So the question is, what's the second flag?
That's DJ Estes.
Kicking game, Jason. We talked about the kicking game.
Coaches said it would be maybe the most important aspect of this game.
He drug him down into him. That's right.
This might take a minute to sort out. I'm trying to figure. Again, the second penalty is going to be huge. Will this be an offsetting situation, or will the Bears get some sort of reprieve offensively from a poor judgment and poor job by the special teams play of the Eagles?
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the receiving team. Holding, receiving team number 24. That penalty is declined. Running into the kicker, number 29, defense. That penalty will be accepted 5 yards from the previous spot. Will be first down for Morgan State.
There you go. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, that's a poor angle.
Yep.
When you feel yourself not going to be in front, because you're picking a spot 3 yards in front of the punter, when you feel yourself not in that position, go ahead and peel off. See, he should peel off right now. Just go ahead and peel off. And think about it. He got blocked, so he would have been even worse running into the kicker if he not got chipped. You got to feel where you are and peel off of that. Again, it's a little chippy out there. Everybody wants to get a hit. Got to be smart now.
So at one point it was 3rd and 22. The possession felt like it was over. So on the punt, you get a second lifeline at this opportunity. But same story in the running game.
How do you take advantage of it?
This is a gift.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And do you open the gift, or does it stay wrapped up under the tree? You got to find a way to open that gift and pull out the prize, baby. You got to get this ball downfield. You got to find a way to stretch this defense. They're coming forward so hard. Some sort of play action, maybe a flea flicker, something to get this defense on their heels. Because right now they're coming forward against the tailback run game, and then there's no threat on the 3rd down situation. They're playing great pass defense with a rush.
Davis, and at one point you go to the air with Ja'Kai Brevard getting another tackle here. Now you have to. Kind of putting yourself in that obvious passing down situation.
So that run, throw on 3rd down, but that is tough to do against a talented defense like that. And it's not like they're not getting their blocks. The point is they're not getting any movement. There are hats on hats. There's no movement of the defensive line. You got a guy like Brevard who's getting unblocked because he's being covered by that D-line, and he's making the play one-on-one in the hole almost every time. Tough way to play quarterback in a situation like this.
And Smith is a running threat, but backed up in 3rd and long again. Pressure comes off the edge. They dump it off. Running room here finally for J.J. Davis, able to break one in the pass-catching game this time. That will be a first down, moving the chains.
He runs the angle route. This time he just gets lost up inside of the offensive line, getting depth from the linebackers and secondary, finds a void, and it's a good job by Smith getting the ball out of his hands quickly before that rush could get there.
J.J. Davis, such a student of the game. Offensive coordinator Paulo Wright told us he'll get text from J.J. when J.J.'s watching NFL games, providing some input for what the team could apply. Yeah, I like that input, trying to utilize the different techniques to move the chains here. They go out on the edge to Leatherbury, and now up near midfield into plus territory. Can they capitalize? Haven't been able to do it today. You get the feeling this could be a long drive if it extends. Nearing the 4th quarter. How many possessions do you have left as well? Big tackle there from Mekhi McCall, Georgia native.
Got really good yardage on 1st down. Was unable to come up with something on 2nd down. Now you're sitting and looking at 3rd and 7. 3rd and 6.5. You can dial up here. Central's coming with that 4-man rush. They've had success with 3-man, 4-man, doesn't matter. The offensive line has to stand up here and give their guy Smith a chance.
Crowd letting Taj Smith hear it on 3rd and 5. Biggest third down of the game for Morgan State. There was a flag, 2 flags, both on the far side of the field.
It's easy holding. Defensive holding, no question about it. I think that's Jalen Bowden. Reached out and grabbed the receiver from behind.
Could be a second huge penalty against NC Central to prolong this Morgan State drive. The first one came on 4th and 22 on the punt. That kept this thing going.
Listen, if you're going to get beat deep, Jason, you go ahead and reach out and hold.
2 fouls on the play by both teams. Illegal formation, offense, number 70. The tackle was not on the line of scrimmage. Pass interference, defense, number 7. Those penalties will offset. We will replay 3rd down.
There we go. Replay it with the offsetting penalties. 3rd and 5 again.
So the offensive tackle has to be up on the line of scrimmage. His helmet and shoulders have to break the belt line of the center. That time, you see a lot of tackles get back in their stance, trying to give them an advantage to see and block the defensive end. You got to get up on the line of scrimmage. That costs right there. That costs the Bears.
See what Damon Wilson and this Morgan State team can draw up. Again, it's been a possession of taking a second crack at it.
Wouldn't be shocked with a run here. This is 4th down situation here.
Whistles were blown before the snap. Timeout call.
Morgan State, their first timeout of the half. It'll be 30 seconds.
There was some confusion with their formation. I think the coaching staff saw that and decided to pull a trigger on a timeout to come over and talk about it. But I think this might be 4-down territory, Jason. Just from where they are on the field, the clock is starting to work against them. You're down 2 scores. You don't need to get all of it on 3rd down. You'd love to. But if you get anywhere close, 4th and 2 or less, I expect the Bears to go for it on 4th down.
It feels like you need to. You're in that stage of the game almost.
It's not desperation, but it's...
I was going to ask if that word is applicable at this point.
Not yet, but certainly it's a sense of urgency,
Then coming off the loss to MEAC. Then had the bye. It was a frustrating loss for Coach Wilson and the group against MEAC. Kind of got down early, couldn't quite pull off the comeback. Have Taj Smith back. Both teams a little healthier this week at the midway point on 3rd and 5. Is it 4-down territory? If they don't get this, we'll find out. Quick throw over the middle, and finally a completion for a 1st down. It is Matt Lowe. Gain of 16 as they hit the tight end.
Best throw today by Taj Smith, anticipating exactly where the defense was be. Watch him get it over the linebacker and underneath the safety. Boy, that is perfect.
And some quick pressure up the middle, and flags go flying. Who will they get this on? NC Central seems to think it's against Morgan State.
Full start, offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Penalties starting to become an issue for both teams. We played a pretty clean game in the first half, 3 penalties total. Starting to show up now.
Beckett
for Boyd.
Yeah, Beckett and Leary, their kicker, can hit from within that 40 to 50 range, but you definitely want 6 and the extra point with this drive.
Big Chris, he false starts. They're going to see it. 6'5", 355 pounds. They're not going to miss you, big fella.
To the air again. That's the formula working right now. Throw is a tad off. Intentions for Phillips that time. Isaiah Norris on the coverage.
Phillips, to me, stopped on that route. He kind of got open and slowed down. And that ball, right. Yeah, right. I mean, if he just keeps running there, I think he makes that catch easily.
Isaiah Norris, when you hear his footsteps coming, he's the big hitter of the NC Central defense. He can make you think twice.
They say he does not shy away from contact. He's not your normal cover corner that doesn't really want to mix it up.
Like linebacker corner blend a little bit.
Yeah, South Carolina transfer. He likes to put his face on you.
Saw earlier, had Wilkins frustrated. And now to the ground game. Brevard again on the tackle. He's been the run stopper coming down from the linebacker position today.
I think that's where I'd like to see Taj Smith be able to get them out of that run play. You're trying to run into an 8-man front. You got man coverage on the outside. This is where you'd have to take advantage of that if you could. And I don't know if he is far enough along in this offense to be able to do that, but man, it's tough running up into any defense that is this good, but especially against an 8-man front.
It's a really odd part of the field, too. Your kicker, Leary, hasn't hit from this range this season. It's the 12th play of the drive.
Don't force it here.
Smith, he was hit as he threw that. Marquez Phillips, the receiver in the vicinity. And now what do you do? 4th and 15 at this part of the field.
Well, first of all, he wanted Phillips to come back. I have no idea what happened here. Yeah, he threw a comeback ball, but it was a go route. So two guys not on the same page. And fortunately, sometimes when you get two guys not on the same page, quarterback, receiver, the ball is going the other way. So good thing for them, the ball is on the ground. But yeah, I think this is the decision, the right decision to make. Can you now execute this situation? This is a big situational part of this game. If you can keep this offense within inside the 5, certainly the 10-yard line, that's great now for setting yourself up for good field position on the other end.
Like you said, still just a 10-point game. And it's a good punt. Let it roll down to the 1.
That's perfect execution. Great job right there by all involved. Messenger, the punter, that's an excellent job. He deserves a high five. That's the type of execution you need in a crucial situation like this. We talked about the kicking game having an opportunity to decide who wins or loses. Let's put an asterisk right here on this part of this drive now. It's starting inside the 1-yard line. This is when the best defense in black college football and one of the best in all FCS has to stand up and give their offense an opportunity to get back in this game in a big way.
Shane Messenger started last year at the punter spot as a freshman from Oregon State. You see Elijah Williams lining up. He's thinking safety in his mind. Taylor the back. Harris trying to get them some breathing room here. We'll give it to Taylor, who gets that breathing room. And a tackle that's able to stop any more yardage from Ahmad McCullough. But that's why you love Jamari Taylor. Gets you out of situation.
Watch the patience. It takes some heart to have patience in your own end zone. Great job of that offensive line getting on blocks and not getting a lot of movement, but just staying on guys. And that patience of Taylor, when you're that explosive, you can be patient and wait for the thing to open up and then exploit it with your quickness.
Walker Harris, 9th in all of the FCS in passing efficiency. It's been the most efficient offense in the MEAC. And they now try to string together a lengthy drive into the final minute of this 3rd quarter.
KJ Scott, nice job of reacting. He should have made that tackle in the backfield. He was the first hitter, though. When you're the free hitter in a game like this, especially in this moment of the game, you've got an opportunity. You got to be the guy. When you're the free hitter, you got to make the tackle yourself, because if you give more opportunities for Taylor to bounce off you and run, you might not catch him.
Got 56 underclassmen on this NC Central roster. Both of these teams fairly young, but NC Central riding the 4-game winning streak. They have looked about as gelled together as you could possibly be in the last 4 games. Play clock down to 2. Final couple of plays of the 3rd quarter. Back to Taylor they go. And it will be 3rd down coming up when the 4th quarter gets started. A 10-point game. 2 possessions separating the Bears and Eagles on homecoming day. Still very much a ball game here in Durham. 4s are up.
Hey friends, excuse me, miss. I'm
gonna let you take this one.
Listen, that was some ground beef. Now we got some fajita veggies. I like that. Like what you're doing there. And you see that? That's cornmeal, and that's a deep fryer. Watch how beautiful. Look at that golden brown. Oh my goodness gracious. We could freeze there, but there's more. There's Look, there's a difference between grilling, Jason. That's what you do. This is smoking right here. That's whole hog smoking right there. That's Carolina smoked barbecue at its finest. Please don't let it go away. Oh, we got a job to do. Okay.
You can get back to that after the score.
Goodness.
You'll get there. 3rd and 4, meanwhile, and it's a big one for the Morgan State defense trying to get off the field. They will not. Out to nearly the 45-yard line. Arkell Quick had a big touchdown earlier in the game. Carter brought him down, but he has been the guy when they've needed yardage. 18 this time.
That ball was thrown behind him, too. What a great job of reaching back and snagging that football. You see Patterson coming off the field. Patterson's in good shape, too. He tries to dive and make a play on that ball. Well, that's just a tremendous job. I mean, you know, that's good against good. The offense won on that one. Excellent hands there to reach back and catch that inaccurate pass for the first down.
Low throw, but caught. And Peterson able to get some yardage out of that. Carter to the tackle, but Harris is moving this team now through the air and on the ground. There's a flag on the far side of the field.
I think, again, guys losing their poise. Probably going to be some sort of unsportsmanlike dead ball foul. I like the plan, though, by Leone. I mean, everybody in the stadium knows this is a running situation. The clock, use the clock. Go ahead and fake the run and throw it outside to bubble screens, which is just as safe as a run.
The play counts. It will be second down. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 14 for taunting. This is number 14's first unsportsmanlike towards disqualification.
Let's take a look at what happens. Anderson's getting up. Oh, that's silly. And he's lucky he didn't get hit for a punch. I mean, you tell me the difference between what he just did as he's catching the earful from his teammate and what the other player did on the other side to get thrown out.
And Tyler Wilkins went in that exchange with Isaiah Norris. Yeah. You're right, very similar. It's going to push him back to 2nd and 20, right as we were saying, offense is moving.
And he made contact with the head.
Yep. Elijah Williams had pressure up the middle, but able to get it to Taylor, who lowers his shoulder. Gets a good chunk of the yardage back, maybe back to the original line of scrimmage here to bring up 3rd and long. Should be 3rd and about 11 for Harris.
This guy Taylor's brilliant in open field. You see how he set up those blocks? A lot of backs, especially if they got quickness, they get the ball and just go, trying to make a big play. Just the patience to set up his block and read it. Excellent job. And you see Trey Oliver, he's upset about that penalty. And that's a drive-killing penalty, and a drive here could have ended the ball game early in the 4th quarter.
Wall in motion, time to throw. Strong throw, picked off. Could this be the game-changing play? Arturo Villalobos has it and gets inside of the 35. Could that be the game changer for Morgan State?
Look, I don't know who's going to win this ball game, but I know one thing's for sure. The Bears defense is doing their part. Another turnover. Can this offense capitalize on what this defense is giving? You talked about being a gift. Here's another gift for you right now that your defense created. And that's all you can ask for. Look, things aren't going our way. We've got to find a way, guys, to win it ourselves. Look at that right there. How about that left hand? His body's going to his right. He's not in balance. Reaches up that left hand and catches the football. And now it's offensive defense trying to get blocks.
That's a guy who's become so mobile, so athletic. He was about 260 pounds when he first arrived on campus because he was a defensive lineman. Then moved to linebacker, worked on his pass coverage really hard. And now can the offense take advantage of it? That first throw incomplete on the crossing route, looking for Joseph Kennerly Jr.
If you're Matt Leone, offensive coordinator Apollo Wright, you're trying to figure out what's my quarterback comfortable with? What can I give him that is going to allow him to execute at his highest level? And they're searching right now. That should have been a completion. He skipped that ball on a slant and just not feeling comfortable. You can just tell. Just not comfortable, Todd Smith.
Again, coming back this week. It had been 3 games where Deuce Taylor was the QB. The last 3, Todd Smith began the season as the starter. But like you said, you wonder how much time it takes to really get back into a rhythm. It was day-to-day in practice this week. Scoots out and gets dropped. So trying to capitalize what feels like a must-capitalize situation and unable to do it. The sack from Thomas Johnson. 2nd time he's been back there today.
Yeah, he's balled out. Great job of faking inside. Now that's a double team Jason he's beating there. That's just a guy that just won't be denied. That's the type of effort we love to see from a defense. He beats the tackle, and then Jason Collins, the back, he makes him just get the heck out of here. I've got a play to make against this quarterback, and he does a tremendous job coming around the corner, setting up his defense for 3rd and long.
And Johnson had only played in 1 game before today. He was injured as well. They were excited to get him back. 3rd and 19. Just got the big interception, but backed up. In need of yardage to try to make this 4th and manageable at minimum. We'll get back to the 35-yard line. Jason Collins Jr. on the catch. So now it's going to be maybe 4th and 10 here, Taoka. What do? It looks like offense wants to stay out.
Yeah, I think it's getting to the point you got a man down. It's getting to the point now where 2-score game, under 13 minutes to play, that's really making the decision for you. You probably have to go here.
We'll have time to think about it. 4th and 11 is what they're calling it. Thomas Johnson, who just got the big sack, made it 3rd and 19 prior to this play, is the one who's down. They're checking on Thomas Johnson. He has dealt with some injury issues this season, but big in his return today with a couple of sacks.
So he's getting up and going to walk off under his own power. That's what you like to see.
Offensively here, Morgan State. If you're drawing something up on 4th and 10, what are you doing?
Look, first of all, this is not where you want to be if you're Apollo Wright, but this is why they pay you the big bucks. A lot of things have not worked that you've tried. Now you got to come in and you're thinking protection first. We have got to find a way to give Todd Smith the ability to look downfield, set his feet, and throw the football. That hasn't happened a lot. So it doesn't really matter. If you don't block him, you got no shot.
Crowd knows this is a big play. 5 receivers in the set. A dart over the middle. They get the conversion, and they enter the red zone in the process. Jason Collins Jr. on perhaps the biggest catch of the day today for Morgan State.
So let's give the credit to the offensive line. Look at the time. And there's the pocket to step up into, and then you have your back running a straight drag late across the line of scrimmage. I love the poise right there from Smith delivering an accurate ball.
Had to have it. They get it into the red zone now. Collins Jr. brought down on the play in the interior there, and Brevard in the mix again, finding a groove.
Love to see the Bears get out of that run-pass mentality in this situation. I think you got to stay aggressive. I think early down throws is what you want to do. The run-pass really hasn't been successful for you the entire game.
Red zone scoring hasn't been where they've wanted it to be. They need it here, though. Nice crossing route completion inside of the 5 with Andre Crawley. Their top target on offense sets up 1st and goal.
They went double slants, trips to the left side, double slants, and he had his choice. There were multiple guys open, got the ball out of hands quickly. Great job. And this time, catching the football, getting upfield by Crawley. Nice job.
Gain of 15 by the captain, who put so much time in the film room. Cares so much about this offense.
And I still think you got to stay with throwing the football, Jason. I don't think running the football in this situation will be the right thing to do.
They will run it, and the defense for NC Central ready. Mekhi McCall at the bottom of the pile, emerging after the tackle.
Looking at McCall's sheet, if you coach Wright, you're saying, okay, what's my best deep inside the red zone throw? Can you get me something? Get the ball out of his hands quickly.
Back to the ground, into the end zone for the first time today. They find it in the 4th quarter and are able to make it a 1-possession game. David Wilson's crew not going away anytime soon. Jason Collins Jr. punches it in.
Jason Collins Jr. said, no, you don't know what you're talking about, Tyoka Jackson. We're going to run the football. And no one showed up defensively until he got to the line of scrimmage.
And it was the running backs who had some big receptions on this drive to keep it going.
Nice cut, though, in the hole. I mean, that was a really good job. A lot of times you see that close to the goal line, guys run with their eyes closed. He kept his head up, made a beautiful cut to get in the end zone.
Beckett Leary, icing on the cake. 8 plays, 34 yards. They capitalize off the Arturo Maddox interception. But Tyoka, it was the 4th down conversion that sprung this. This is a game. 9:50 to go in the 4th quarter for Morgan State. Finally able to crack the code and find the end zone on the Jason Collins Jr. run. But it was that 4th down conversion, 4th and 10. I mean, that was what could have been the game almost, it felt like, with how this thing was swinging. And you had to capitalize on the interception from Maddox. You do. And now it's anyone's game.
Yeah, the embattled offensive line stepped up when they had to. The biggest moment, did their job.
2 young offensive lines today. Taylor will take this one out on his own goal line. Trips up at about the 27. Special teams was the issue for Morgan State against MEAC. They've flipped that around today and been much better in that phase of the game. But Taylor thought he had an alley here.
Game of inches is what they say, right? Just a fingernail. Woo, boy. He was to the safety. If he made number 21 miss, he'd still be running. But we'll never know. Great job of laying out by the coverage team and getting him on the ground. So this is complimentary football time for both teams. Central needs a drive. They need a long scoreboard-changing drive to get control of this game again. And if you're Morgan State, you're saying a 3-and-out would be lethal for this Central defense, putting them back on the field.
That's been a spitting image of this game today. The running game has been a challenge. Stoops made the tackle. NC Central now, an offense that has been on fire of late. 68 points in their last game against Virginia Lynchburg. 45 the game prior to that. They've got multiple 60-point games this year. But this Morgan State defense, I mean, you said it in the first half, but it's carried over now. They've turned this into a Morgan State game. On the road, too. Hand it off again. Need patience and sidestepping footwork of Jamari Taylor, who takes the vast majority of the carries for NC Central. That's still working.
If you don't get quick penetration against this back Taylor, he's going to find the creases and exploit them. The vision, the patience, the acceleration, he's giving it all to you. Haven't seen him out of the backfield as much as I thought we may, but the running game has really gotten better and better as this game's gone on.
3rd and 1, crowding the line of scrimmage here, trying to do a little push. Where Harris is right now, Tioka, I don't think he got there.
Yeah, and I think the spot where they're going to spot this thing looks to be short to me. This is certainly going to be worth a measure.
Where was the forward progress when that whistle blew? But that pile was pushing for a long time. And for the vast majority of it, it looked like he was there.
And he needed to get to, what's that, the 37-yard line? They gave him the first down.
They gave him the first down. It's a big call to move the chains. Trey Oliver, the head coach for NC Central.
Still plenty of time, just under 8 minutes. If I'm Central, I am taking my time. I'm milking this clock, trying to shorten this fourth quarter as much as possible.
Seen long drives from both teams today. You start to wonder how many possessions you have left. How long could this one go? And then Morgan State, they're going to be thinking about trying to take the lead if they can get the ball back. 2 timeouts for Morgan State, 3 for NC Central.
Again, if I'm the Eagles offense, I'm not snapping this ball until we're under 3 seconds every single play.
Harris, such a great commander of this offense. A left-hander with time to throw, and he's able to find who's been his go-to target today, Markel Quick. Mr. Consistent. And it's another first down, gain of 11.
Watch the eyes of Walker Harris. Watch him look to his left. See that right there? That's just enough to move the safety. Beautiful job of manipulating the defense with your eyes, knowing that you've got a receiver hooking up over the middle. You're going to come back to him, just trying to create space for him. But that is a veteran football play by Mr. Harris.
Under 7 to go now. There's a big hole for Taylor. Trying to make him in. Yes, he does. Inside of the 20 to the end zone he goes. Game-changing 50-yard lightning strike.
It doesn't matter that the defense knows he's going to run it. When you got a closer like this, all he needs is a space, just a little bit of space. He'll find a way. Once again, the block is excellent. And one-on-one in the open space, good luck. He's got a 2-way go.
Wow. It's kind of like a dance move in the open court.
Yes. Yes, it is.
1v1, and Taylor.
I can't dance like that.
You said you can or
I cannot. Let me be clear.
And by the way, extra point off the mark. So remains a 9-point game with 6:37 to go. 50 yards. Here's your dance. One-on-one. Taylor's got more moves than most of us.
Is presented by McDonald's.
Tioka's dancing in the booth. They're dancing at homecoming. NC Central dancing after a big run from Jamari Taylor of 50 yards to make it a 9-point game. This NC Central team looking for a 5th straight victory.
Black college football is a vibe, folks. If you haven't shown up live to do it, I highly suggest you do.
Caleb Robinson set to kick off after the 50-yard run. Been a fun night in Durham. Collins Jr. back to return. J.J. Davis will take it on the opposite side. Morgan State in need of some big plays pretty quick now in a 2-possession game. Look at Jamari Taylor's numbers against this Morgan State defense. Hard to do. A good chunk of it coming on that last run.
Just under 8 yards a carry. Are you kidding me? Against a defense that nobody does this against?
Hard to bring down.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, he runs. We talked about how hard he runs. We talked about his quickness, his patience. 5'11", 200 pounds, but runs like he's 230.
A former walk-on as well. Asked him, what was your mindset when you were a walk-on? And he said, earn my role, earn my job, continue to build. Patiently awaited for that role when Latrell Collier graduated, and he has more than stepped into it. So now Morgan State goes back to work under center. A quick throw complete to Joseph Kennerly Jr. Does this offense need to keep doing that?
They do, and they need to do it with some tempo. Let's see how they can execute going fast. And I thought they should have done this in the third quarter, to be honest, just to give this defense another look. See if they can do that here.
They bring 4 on the rush. Better coverage downfield. Pretty good runner, and Taj Smith takes off there to get the first down. Moving with some tempo now, under 6 to go.
I like how he protected the football and got down. And as you see, they backed him up because when you slide like that, they're going to move the ball to where you started to slide, not when you came down.
Now they bring the house under pressure. Open receiver is Leatherby. Able to emerge off the deck there. Vassell brings him down.
I'm telling you, when you go tempo, it's something about just going a little bit faster. They can make things just be a little smoother from an offensive operation standpoint.
Pressure again. Nice improvisation, but timing just off. With Kennerly Jr., 3rd and 2.
Just like to be a little bit more decisive. This is where the lack of reps come in. He got to the right read, but get to it quicker, or go ahead and tuck that thing and get the first down, understanding you're only 2 yards away from it.
Damon Wilson's team down to a few lives left here. There's 5:23 to go.
Wouldn't mind running this into a light box, Jason. There it is.
You called it, and with forward progress, we'll see where they mark it. Urine was just pushing back, though.
Now, Smith's got to get his offense back to the line of scrimmage. Either way, the clock's going to be running, whether they gave him the first or not. I'm going to get up and get going. This clock is running right now.
See where they mark it. They're telling them move the shades.
And the officials got to do a better job of getting this done faster. That's not fair to the offense.
Injured player in the field is Mekhi McCall for NC Central. Both teams to go to their sidelines after Urine's tackle. And we will take a quick break. Under 5 to go. Big possession.
Warning.
After the football game, it keeps going late into the night. The tailgate parking lot there. And now their focus from here, NC Central fans, is trying to finish up these final 4:59. Mekhi McCall was helped off the field, having trouble putting weight down on the lower body. So 1st and 10 here for the Morgan State offense. Eagles show pressure and they bring it. Quick throw downfield. Pressure got home pretty quickly. One in Leatherbury. Mansfield was there.
Smith took a shot, Jason. Woo. Some courage to stand in here. Watch him stand in and deliver his ball. Boom. That's legal. That's a lot of weight coming down here. That's Quantez Manfield. 6'2", 295 pounds. I met him in practice yesterday. He's a big, thick dude.
The coach has been playing mind games with him this week. He said there's another 0 on the other side. Elijah Williams, who's going to win that battle between you and the other 0. Mansfield just came up with a clutch play. Taj Smith awaiting a receiver to come open, and that throw inaccurate and incomplete to Anthony James Jr. Brings up now 3rd and 10, 4-down territory, need 2 scores.
Just magnificent coverage by the entire secondary of the Eagles. There was nowhere to throw that football, and that was probably the most time he's had all day. He just couldn't find anybody, and that's where you'd like to see him go ahead and take off and use his legs, but he just taken a shot to play before, so he probably didn't have it in him. I get it. Smith, you're thinking you got 2 downs. You do not have to force this football for a 1st down on this play.
They only rushed 3, one-on-one downfield. One's Kennerly Jr. Didn't have him, but that was the play you were looking for. Wade Harris back on the coverage.
Yeah, unfortunately, would have loved to see them do this a little bit earlier in the game, loosen up this defense. But the pass rush was just been so ferocious. I guess I get it. I wouldn't like to throw that a lot either if I'm Todd Smith, because you'd be getting them off the ground a lot. Just a little bit off on the details there. Just barely overthrown. The last 4th down situation, we saw them make a terrific play with the offensive line. Again, give them the time to make it happen.
Yep, that's what kept the drive going. It was just like this, 4th and 10, little deja vu, but in an even more crucial spot. And Smith will be dropped. The defensive line, and Thomas Johnson, who's had himself a day, comes up big again.
A 3-backer. That's how you come back off the injured list, right? Fresh legs, haven't played in a few games. Man, he's had a monster game. Spin move back inside. Tried to double him. He's coming too hard. He won't give up. Doesn't always have to be completely clean. I love the spin move. And he's trying to double team, but it's too late. Man, the effort, the intensity has been there the entire game for both of these defenses, really. But Thomas Johnson has stood out almost as much as Elijah Williams has on the other side of the ball.
NC Central looking for a 7th consecutive win in this series history.
Here's my question. Who's the defensive player of the week in the MEAC?
It's going to be a.
I mean,
you
3
got
sacks,
to go back
bro.
and watch the film of this game and figure it out.
Right.
I mean, you got a return. Maybe you could call him return player of the week or defensive player of the week. It was a battle between him and Elijah Williams.
No question about
today.
it. No question, and it's not over.
Setting up on the plus side of the 50 now, this NC Central offense. You think they give it to Jamari Taylor? That's exactly what they do. And he make another man miss when those feet start getting in. It looks like a ladder drill, but on real life.
Excuse me, may I have this dance? He's dancing on people right now, real live in front of us. I just want everybody to remember how good this defense is now. He's not doing this to a B squad. 13th grade high school. Nothing. This is as good as it gets defensively in the FCS. He's just that good.
Yeah, it's the #1 scoring defense in the MEAC and Morgan State. They're facing the #1 scoring offense today. This is around what Morgan State allows on a game-by-game basis. Just couldn't quite get the offensive flow going consistently. Still looking for a stop here with the 3rd down coming up and 2 timeouts in the 2 minutes. So that could factor in if they can get a stop. You need 2 scores.
Look how hard this defense continues to play.
Right.
No scoreboard watching from the guys in the white jerseys. There's a standard and there's a level of pride that they play with regardless of the situation. They're going to bring it every single down, and that's a testament to the coaching. And it's a testament also to the football character of the guys under the helmets.
Elijah Williams, MVP defense today. On your screen there, one of the captains, earned his undergrad. Coaching staff said they wish they could have 2 Elijahs at once. That would have been the formula today to keep that Jamari Taylor run out of the end zone.
I'm a little greedy. I want 4 of them. Can I get 4 across the board?
I don't know if that's illegal. Seems against the law.
But look, Davis is on his way to being exactly like him, number 9 on your screen. They call him Big Baby. So he's the young version of Elijah Williams, and he's just a true freshman. Melton Davis, another big guy from DeMatha High School, DMV, stand up, transfer from Merrimack. He's been in the backfield today as well.
2 different Maryland and New Jersey natives up front. Meanwhile, pressure, able to get it away. That is a great throw from Walker Harris to lead Jamari Taylor again. Those 2 have been about as clutch as you can be in this game in the 4th quarter in tough spots. Gain of 12 for the first down.
And that's the second element number 4 brings to your offense. A lot of guys are first and second down running backs, but really doesn't show up in the pass game. He's a true all-purpose guy. He can line up, he can catch it out of the backfield, whatever you need. Number 4 can give it to you.
Clock goes under 3 minutes for an NC Central group that's trying to finish this off in a different way. And they're blowing teams out before the bye week. Bring in Chris Mosley now to running back. Stoops the tackle.
Stoops is a former corner, moved to safety. A lot of times those guys who play corner to move to safety, they don't tackle as well. Well, that's not the case with Stoops. You can't play in this defense if you don't tackle.
Yeah, he's had a great day. A former walk-on as well, earned a scholarship. Just brings a personality to the defense. They're going to milk the clock down to the 2-minute mark.
New thing in college football, right? It's 2-minute timeout.
Yeah.
And don't call it warning. You get in trouble.
Yep,
That's
NFL.
NFL.
That's NFL. 2-minute timeout. That's right. Those 2nd and 7 when we come back have hit the 2-minute timeout. Final and 4th quarter.
You're a leader. You have a vision. But do you have visibility? With Smartsheet, you do. Smartsheet helps leaders inspire their teams to plan, execute, and scale work to deliver results faster. Aligning your teams around a shared vision is not easy, especially in the face of unexpected challenges. It takes the ability to pivot with ease. It takes standardized processes and seamless collaboration. It takes a whole lot more than we can cover in just one ad. It takes Smartsheet.
Back pain. When you've got it, you know it. Introducing the X-Pack from CopperFit, our groundbreaking technology designed for compression support of your lower back and core like you've never experienced before. Engineered with our most innovative, patent-pending, Advanced X compression system. Evenly distributes the support across a broader surface area of your back for relief of lower back aches and pains. A super lightweight mesh fabric, ventilated to increase airflow and release excess heat. An orthopedic designed alloy support panel and 4 built-in flexible stabilizers to help improve alignment and promote better posture. The all-new X-Pack from CopperFit, the most customizable support for relief of lower back pain you will ever wear. Guaranteed or your money back. Get yours now at getxpack.com or call 1-800-509-2306. Order right now and your shipping is free. CopperFit. Feel the difference.
Look, we've all been there. Your AC decides to quit, turning your home into an unbearable sweatbox, and now you have to deal with it. Hi, I'm Joe. And this is why I invented iFlow, the world's first automatic AC drain line cleaning system to keep your AC going and the cool air flowing. Look, that's a drain pan overflow that damages ceilings and walls, and you're left to pay for it all. Here's why. A thick, slimy, sticky bacteria called Zuglia lives inside your drain pan and drain line, clogging it up and causing your AC to shut down. But don't worry. That's why I invented iFlow. iFlow is a smart, automated device that dispenses our proven bioenzymatic cleaning fluid that actively breaks down the zuglia and flushes it out of the drain line, helping to prevent those costly clogs. And the best part is, installing iFlow is a breeze. Just stick it on the air handler, connect the iFlow, insert the cleaner cartridge, and you're good to go. And you don't have to be a pro to do it, because there's an iFlow app to help you through it.
For special money-saving deals, visit buyiflow.com.
MEAC football, where speed meets power, where every game is a battle and every moment counts. This is the home of thrilling action, heart-stopping excitement, and unmatched passion. Our fans, they're the heartbeat, the soul, the pride that drives us. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Be a part of something legendary.
Back on the campus of North Carolina Central. Look, our producer, Brett Walensky, said this was a Jamari Taylor package. I disagree. This is a Teron Williams, A.C. McMorr, Noah McGee, Jaquan Sprinkle, and Trayvon Humphrey package. Because look how many times your back is untouched going through the hole. You can't do that without outstanding play in your offensive line against one of the best defensive lines in FCS football. They started slow. They finished it hot, folks. Those are the guys that won the game if they win this.
Not a single senior on that O-line that you just mentioned. But it doesn't look like it. Maddox trying to track down Taylor, who smartly stays inbounds and slides down.
You like how I gave a little love to the big guys? I mean, they don't get enough.
The young big guys.
I mean, look, and Taylor has been tremendous. Don't get me wrong. You rush for 200 yards.
Play there to slide down. Like
right. I mean, again, he's going for basically 200 yards today against this defense. But you can't do it without these big dudes. And this is a young offensive line who they feel like are getting better and better. And when you can run the football like that and lean on this offensive line, it makes play calling a lot easier. It makes offensive football a lot easier.
Third and 7, and looking for Joaquin Davis with 1:11 to go.
Interesting
decision to throw it there on the third down with how good Taylor's been, but
Oliver's looking for points.
They've scored a lot of them. This is a small amount relative to what they scored over the course of what's currently a 4-game winning streak, heading into potentially 5.
Now, this is not what we're used to seeing from Joaquin Davis. And again, getting open has not been his problem today. That was a tough catch. Don't get me wrong. That wasn't the most accurate throw by Walker Harris, but it did hit his hands. So, this is going to be one of those games he's like, okay, I got to see what I did wrong, clear it, and come back next week and be better.
So now again, this time they do get the first down, which should be a game-deciding first down.
Well, look, I was at practice yesterday. It was a little bit faster than a walkthrough, but one of the things I did notice from the North Carolina Central team is they finished their walkthrough with a kneel down offensive. They practiced the kneel down. And obviously this is the easiest play in football. You don't need to practice it to get better at it. But what it is, it's a mindset. It's a visualization that we're going to end the game with the win, us having the ball offensively and kneeling on the ball. So just makes me think that that's how he kind of wants to end this game. The way they practiced it just yesterday.
They put themselves in the position to do it today with big plays from this guy, Jamari Taylor. Gets inside the 5. The flag came out behind the play, but to your point, it was all about keeping that championship mindset during the bye week. Wanted to give the staff some rest, players rest, to go back to their families and be able to reset.
Offense, number 51. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
But kept them in the right place and really got back to work this week. Had to win it in a different way than they had been winning prior to that bye week. But nonetheless, it's going to be a 5th straight win for a team that won the MEAC in 2022 and the HBCU championship in 2022. They're looking to get back to that. And they're on track right now with how they're playing football. This is that victory formation they visualized. Walker Harris made some key plays in the right moments as a redshirt junior.
This was a different type of game like you talked about. This was a grimy, gritty game for the Eagles. So they've shown they can win games by scoring a bunch of points, playing basketball on turf, and then they can grind out a game against one of the best defenses in the FCS football. So you got to feel good about the effort in terms of both sides of the ball. If you're Trey Oliver, you got to be happy. Homecoming, you get the dub. It's going to be a party here in Durham. You can best believe that.
Coaches with a ton of respect for one another. It was a battle, 10-7 at one point before the Taylor run. But getting to 2-0 in MEAC play is NC Central. So their goal is completely still in front of them. Those 2 losses came against Elon and UNC. So 6-2 on the season now. Said they felt they really just didn't show up against Elon. Then really, despite a 45-10 loss to UNC in Chapel Hill, forcing against an FBS opponent, but like there were moments and takeaways to where they could look back on the film and say, we can really be a great team if we lock in. And since then, they've now rattled off 5 consecutive victories. You said streaks are hard because there are distractions during streaks.
No question. It's much easier to coach after a loss if you're a coach. And don't get me wrong, you don't want to lose games, but it's just easier to get players' attention because you just came off a loss and obviously you're not where you need to be. It is much harder to turn on the tape and see you win, and in a lot of cases dominate your opponent and still find a way to get better in practice and challenge these guys in practice. So I just want to be clear about this. Has been a great coaching job by Trey Oliver to continue this streak. They're going to have more challenges down the road, but they're right where they want to be in terms of 2-0 in this conference.
We have Jamari Taylor now. Jamari, first off, congrats on the win. It was fun talking to you earlier this week. We mentioned streaks can be hard because there are distractions during streaks. You guys are on a 5-game winning streak now. Why has this team been so consistent over the last 5?
Because this is all the dedication and the work we put in. We remain humble and we continue to be great every day.
Jamari, I'm curious. You almost went for 200 yards against a terrific defense. In a lot of these runs, you didn't have anybody in the backfield to deter you. Offensive line got to a slow start, but they finished hot. Can you talk about how those boys up front did for you today?
I'd say my O-line did a pretty good job today. We spoken about it in the second half with the offensive coordinator, saying we got to run the ball. So that challenged them for them to make things better for us offensively.
Hey, Jamari, what did you see on the 50-yard run? We're showing it right now on TV that basically sealed the deal in the game.
I seen when we ran the play the first time, it was wide open. So I asked the coach to come back to it, and we came back to it, and it was wide open. All I had to do was the green grass and make one person miss.
And then look, it's homecoming. You got the dub. They've crowned the queen and the king. Is it a party tonight?
Oh, yes, sir. You know it's a party, especially at the Greek Bowl, baby.
Go have some fun, Jamari. Congrats on the win.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy.
Well, he had a big day. A fun start to the day that we know is going to go into the night here in Durham. Your thoughts on why this team can be special?
Well, they've got a star running back, and their offensive line is gelling. If you can run the football, that travels. Your quarterback is a veteran guy, makes great decisions. Look out for this team for the rest of this conference play.
All right, everyone back in the truck. You guys were phenomenal as always. Safe travels back home for Tioka Jackson. I'm Jason Ross Jr. saying so long after NC Central picks up the win over Morgan State on their homecoming night.
Here. When those high-powered businessmen